Is it going? Hey!
Live.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
We are about to start the draft here in a few minutes.
I'm expecting to go top 10 here.
For those of you who don't know, Riley is 6'10", so you might see him near the end of the first round here.
He's the second best prospect after Wimby. Second best big man prospect.
Felt like I should at least try to, match the sharpness they've all got going on tonight.
Well, what do you guys think's going to happen here? Let's just talk about it really quick before the draft gets going here.
I think we're getting Miller. I said it in our last video. I'm sticking to it. I think Brandon Miller is coming to Portland, which is probably the least exciting option, but still very exciting. Well, I guess there's less exciting options out there, but I think it's, out of like the three options of trading it, Scoot or Miller, I think he's the least exciting to me probably, but still I would take him all day.
I think it's more or less a coin flip on which one of those two we're going to get. So I'm just going to stick with what I said last time. I think we're getting Scoot. I think Miller, I think that he's been flirting with Michael Jordan enough this week that they're gonna try to pull him as
Michael
Jordan.
traded him though, he sold the team, didn't he?
Well, he's selling.
He still
the
has
team.
the input.
Yeah, he's selling the team, or at least majority ownership. But that could be his last little legacy on his way out the door. But anyway, that's my prediction, and I think that would be very exciting because apparently we were talking about this. Scoot and Dame have been talking a lot. Maybe some kind of friendship building there.
Look, it's you.
Wow, amazing.
Look, it's you, right?
Well,
Technology is crazy.
guys, I put I'm not gonna. This isn't a gambling show, so I don't want to talk about it.
But you already did gamble.
I put money on the fact that Scoot is going to go number 2, just because I'm okay either way. If Brandon Miller drops, that's the player that the Blazers have been looking for, position wise, skill set wise, fit wise, just in general. And if he's there, I think the Blazers should not hesitate, take him. Don't take the Amen risk because his shot is broken, and there's a chance he might not ever get that fixed. And I think Brandon Miller is a complete package except for adding more strength. So if Brandon Miller is there, that's okay. If the Hornets do take Brandon Miller and leave Scoot on the board, the Blazers, who knows what they're going to do? Mm-hmm. They could keep Scoot and say, sorry, Dame. They could
Even though apparently they've been texting, they've been keeping in communication.
They
kind
have
of seem like they're buddies.
They have been, but Scoot as the young guy wants to come in and take the reins right off the bat on his own team. And, you never know. You never know what could happen. They could play well together. They could, form a dynamic duo in that aspect, but they're still two small guards. And, you don't know what's going to happen with that. I think that if there's a deal to be made with the New Orleans Pelicans, I think that the Blazers should not hesitate and they should trade for Zion. And I know a lot of Blazer fans don't like injury-prone bigs, but that's just what I think. I think if you're going to go all in for Dame, that's the guy to go all in for because it's a swing for a home run, not a bunt, not a single. So that's where I'm at, and we'll see what happens. I think it could go either way, but I think the Hornets are going to take Scoot.
Yeah, I think if there is a chance, if there's a chance that we can trade either one of them for Zion, I think that's something that you probably do just for Dame. We talked about this quite a bit on the last podcast, and if you haven't heard that one, go listen to it. But yeah, I think it's a huge risk. Huge risk. It could go terribly wrong, and we might never really see that pairing actually pan out. But it would be the move that could lead to a championship.
Championship ceiling, at least in this move, you're making a move for a championship ceiling. Not, a lot of people really like Bridges on the Blazers. The fit of Bridges, him being Dame's friend. I don't think Bridges is worth the number 3 pick.
Him or Siakam,
we're going off.
Be very disappointed.
Siakam, there's rumors that he won't extend anyways if traded. Bridges, he's good, but we're going off 27 games of offensive performance in Brooklyn, being a guy worth the number 3 pick. I don't want to go off that. And
his his performance in Phoenix too, where he was a solid role player and he didn't miss games. Those are
You're right.
two more attributes to him. But yeah, as far as being like a bigger option in an offense, that's where you saw it. Shout out C. Fanarakis, who's ready for Wemby to drop to number 3. We all are. Shout out
I'd
out
probably
Chris.
take him.
We love you.
And then the Blazers pass on Wemby
Yeah.
after he falls to 3.
Take a
And we-
Thompson.
Yeah, we get the worst Thompson to win.
Oh man, we'll see what happens. But
Did you guys see the San Antonio dude hyping up the crowd there in San Antonio with the cowboy
Sick
hat
jean
and the-
shorts, man.
shooting a shirt cannon into the crowd while he was
the
trying to
Wemby
get him to,
jersey.
he was like Wemby. Wemby.
It wasn't really catching on.
That's about as San Antonio as it gets.
I have to. Okay, how
Love
long,
you, Spurs fans. Please don't come after us.
How long after the draft starts do you think the Spurs will take on the clock? Will they just sit there and just, with 1 second into the clock, just take the pick, or will they wait the whole 5 minutes?
No, I think that probably as soon as they're on the clock, he'll just come out and announce it. And part of the reason that I think he'll do that is just to show Victor how excited they are. You know, it's just kind of part of the whole ceremony of like, we know what we're gonna do.
They've
Everyone
had
knows what
time
we're
to
gonna
figure
do.
it out.
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah,
They've had a whole year.
they've been on the clock since the lottery. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, they know. what they're
Wemby's
gonna
been
do.
the guy for what, 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
Everyone knew he was going to be going number 1.
You never know, though. They like to give time to the talking heads.
Yeah.
Time to say, "Oh, what if they happen
Or maybe
to get a trade?"
maybe Charlotte floated him a little something to or maybe Portland, one of those teams needs a little bit more time to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Although if they don't have a clear like if this then that
Yeah, a
sequence-
flow chart.
yeah, then they're already
They do. They
they're
do.
already screwed
But
up.
you know that if something happens, they're going to try and extract more one way or the other, right? So whatever team is trading and is desperately wanting the asset, whether it's the pick or the player, they're going to try and extract more at this last second, just because it's 5 minutes and you're on a deadline, so you're kind of
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here?
Yeah, and what's interesting for the Blazers, and I was going to ask you guys about this, is that so many things are dominoes based on what happens here, and so much of it is out of our control because we don't have that number 2 pick. We get what's left of those, 2 and 3 guys, most likely. So as far as like what happens with Grant, what happens with Nurk, potentially even what happens with Dame. But I've been hearing rumors that they've been talking with Grant about like a 5-year extension, which is a pretty big contract to offer to a guy who underperformed this year.
Not that
I mean, like $150 million. It's a lot of money to tie up on somebody. I have very mixed feelings about Grant because he seems like he should be a piece that we need. Not
Seems like he
necessarily
should rebound and play defense, and he doesn't do those things.
That would be
rough.
fantastic if he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got the body type and the athleticism to be a dog on the rebounds and be a great defender, but he really didn't show either one of those skills in Portland. He was just another jump shooter for the most part. I mean, he could get to the rim, well too, but it's just Portland has a lot of jump shooters on their team. They need some dogs. They need some guys that'll fight on the defensive end, fight for the boards, and he didn't really show that.
Well, he got off to a good start in the season.
He
Let's
did.
be fair.
He hit
And I
2
do-
game winners in the first.
And
2
he was
weeks
shooting
or
like 50% from 3 for the first 2 months. I think Grant is best as your like 3rd or 4th best player.
Yeah.
He can't be your 2nd best
No.
player, and that was evident, and he doesn't rebound very well. Guess who does rebound? Brandon Miller.
Mhm.
A little over 9 rebounds per game. That's a front court, you can't ever say what a rookie's going to bring right off the bat, but if Brandon Miller's rebounding translates, which a lot of the time rebounding translates well out of college, that Brandon Miller can cover for some of Jeremy's weaknesses on that side. I mean, it's not going to be a championship-ready wing set, but you never know how quickly Brandon Miller is going to come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that Jeremy is a good player, and I think that $150 million extension you talk about, the cap is going to go up.
Mhm.
So we'll see. But it seems like Adam Silver's
Here we
coming
go.
out here.
Is he introducing or is he announcing the first pick?
He's gonna say they're on the clock. I bet officially. Oh, here we go.
He's like, I'm suspending John Moran another 25 games.
He's like, it was too light of a suspension.
Yeah.
I'm here to announce that John Morant has committed another gun violation.
Oh man.
Shout out Memphis fans.
Sorry
They
about
they acquired Marcus Smart.
I know that was the crazy. Yeah, we haven't even talked about any of the crazy trades the last few days.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Porzingis, to the
Washington just
Celtics.
shipping their things away for spare parts. Like
I
always.
get it though. They needed
do.
to rebuild for about 10 years.
They do.
And apparently
What's
that
going
was
on here?
No, he's just talking
Oh.
about the Nuggets. What a historic season by the Nuggets, which it was. The Nuggets won their first title.
41st pick, right?
A Taco Bell commercial was playing while he got drafted, by the way.
But yeah, I mean, apparently, you know, Bradley Beal was like one of the worst contracts that's ever been made in NBA history, as far as, you know, tying up a lot of money and giving up a lot of power.
He had a
So,
no trade clause.
Yeah,
What did
Why
they get?
They do that?
What did they get for Paul Poole and what pick?
They got a first, a second, and Poole, which is a good
Yeah.
comeback for Chris Paul. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? He's like
Yeah.
39 years old. I mean, Poole's up and down, but oh, they're on the clock, is what he's gonna say. Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. How long is it gonna take them?
anybody have any bets on how long they're going to take?
I mean,
I wonder if
that's what I'm
is
saying.
there the chance that Adam Silver just waits the whole 5 minutes, even if they tell him? It might not
I
be
think-
up to the Spurs.
See, I think they want to do this kind of thing, like I was
Yeah.
saying, where they analyze it and talk about it. So
Yeah, they probably told the. I mean, it might not even be up to the Spurs when he comes out. It might be up to
I don't even
him.
think the Spurs need to tell Adam Silver. Adam Silver can just walk out without talking to the Spurs and say, "Yep, guess who it is." But yeah, I mean, they'll probably.
Who do you guys think's going number one?
Yeah, any crazy last minute predictions? Anybody?
Grady Dick. Grady Dick.
Anyone?
Grady Dick.
Anyone have a wild hair on that?
Yeah. Well,
Thompson
you know,
twin.
the Spurs. You know, it's interesting. Their Spurs roster is bad.
I know.
Wemby's going to come in unless they
Sohan,
kind of go all
That's
in.
him and Sohan will be a good front court, but they're
Yes.
weak on guards for sure. Vassell.
Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell,
Yeah.
but Zach Collins, like these
How-
players do
yeah,
not
it's
instill
probably
fear.
it's gonna take him a couple years to fully rebuild, I think, which means we could get some crazy stats from Wemby this season.
He can
be-
stay healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be a 2010 guy maybe.
Now we're watching his highlights where he handles the ball at 7'5" and shoots one leg.
Shoots a three and gets his a putback dunk on the miss.
What kind of stats do you think we'll see from Wemby in this first year? Honestly,
I think probably, if I had to guess, pretty similar to what he put up this year in his league. I think around 20 and 10 and 3 blocks, something like that.
as a rookie, and you know his defense is going to be game changing. They just showed him covering a 2-on-1 fast break by himself. Like, ooh, he's going to be tough to handle. I think a guy with girth like Nurkic might actually be able to back him down, but also he
He's
could
a
probably
Jersey
just
man.
shot block just by sticking his hand out when Nurkic does a flip shot. So
As you know, I'm not. I've found it kind of amusing to be not so hot on Wembanyama. And one thing that I've seen some people talking about recently is that he does have some deficiencies in his game, right? Like he shoots from three a pretty low percentage, so 27% from three, and he also turns the ball over a lot. And he has more turnovers than assists, which I know he's not an assist guy, but I mean he's turning the ball over at a pretty high rate. Which when he goes to the NBA and he's got guys with the fastest hands on the planet, you know, swiping at the ball, he's going to have to figure that out. So his first year could be a mix of some amazing stuff and kind of some ugliness too, which is something we see a lot from, you know,
I can't wait to
Physical
see
phenoms.
Wembanyama trying to back down Draymond Green the first time that happens.
or Marcus Smart or so, you know, someone who's just going to get super low to where he just falls over the top of them.
what is happening? We're doing a live demonstration on the draft floor. The pick is in, by the way, so they've definitely said, "Hey, bud, it's already. We know who it's
What
going to be."
is this Candace Parker?
No, but we are getting a demonstration right now of what Victor can do. And so, I get what you're saying, Riley. And
What did I just say? Victor Wembanyama. Oh, that's what their needs is. Victor Wembanyama.
no, that's the best available.
It said starting
Oh,
point
did it?
guard next to it.
Oh,
Which I thought that's what they were saying. That's what
No,
they-
you're probably right. They already know he's going number one. But what I heard about Victor is he was using this season to try to improve his skills to get ready for the NBA. So he was taking tough shots. He was taking off balance one leg shots just because he knows the defense is going to be a little bit, more size and more in your face type thing. So he has a really good mindset if you listen to his interviews. And that was part of the thing I liked about him, that he seems like he knows people want him to be the GOAT, and he kind of has this aura of wanting to achieve that. So I read that he was taking tougher shots, not on purpose, but more off the dribble
Look at his
shots
hands.
on
Jeez.
purpose.
His hands are. Did you guys see that picture? There's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
My team. Did you see that picture of him holding a baseball where his fingers were like wrapping around themselves and stuff? It was crazy looking.
Yeah, he's a physical phenom for sure.
Freak of nature.
I
7'5".
I hope that he is healthy and that he comes in and is able to play basketball at a high level. I really do, because it would be a lot of fun to watch.
Because then we get him versus Chet for years to come.
I have my doubts. I have my doubts that his body's gonna hold.
What
up
was
to the
that
NBA.
meme you read or post or whatever that was like? I have full confidence that it'll be as good as Roy Hibbert and
Yeah.
as good as who was the other guy?
I remember Roy Hibbert. That's what I
It
remember.
was somebody else. It was-
Oh, yeah.
Porzingis.
Yeah, between Porzingis and Roy Hibbert on the all-time GOAT list. Yeah. I mean,
Unicorns.
it just does go to show that it's really hard to predict, in the draft who's going to be the best player out of each year. I mean,
Crazy.
those guys had huge hype too, especially like Porzingis, Unicorn. They were almost having the same conversations,
And the Knicks fans were booing when they.
Yeah, I was about to say he was a little bit less hyped up pre-draft, but after the draft in his rookie year, people started saying like, "This guy's the unicorn." What happened to Hibbert though? It's so crazy how good he was for a few
2 years.
They were like made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Here he comes.
The pick is in. Who do you? Oh my God!
He's smiling. I wonder why. Because he wants
knows
to hear
it.
the shock. Scoot and
Grady Dick. No surprises
Wow.
there.
Okay. Now that
Way
it's
to be
official.
boring, San Antonio.
All right, congrats, Victor.
Now that it's official, the time for the Blazers future starts now.
They're on the clock.
The next
Time
10
for my
minutes,
heart rate to rise
Yeah.
and get sweaty
The
palms.
next 10 minutes decides the future of the Blazers. It's basically a multiverse. A lot of different things could happen. It could splinter off into one direction.
Oh, Woj says the Blazers are trading Dame for
No.
Draymond Green straight across.
No.
Tyler Hero and a first, and we already waived Tyler Hero.
No. That has not happened. We're not going to be following Woj or Shams right now just because we want to react to it live. We might tune into Twitter and check out trade rumors after the pick is actually made. But I think we're just going to react to watching it happen live. So if anybody's watching Twitter, just keep that in mind. We're probably going to be a little bit behind.
Chris, I agree with you. I'm also shook by
Chris,
this shocking revelation that Victor Wembanyama is the #1 pick. Did not see that one coming. This is
He's a little taller than Adam Silver.
jeez, he is enormous.
He's a huge human being.
Huge, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see him on
Yeah.
an NBA floor.
Like him versus Jokic. There's a
Yeah.
lot of matchups that are going to be fun to watch.
he's must-see TV no matter what. This
Yeah.
first game, I think a lot of people are going to tune in. Look at his hands. Wow.
It's probably gonna be on, they're probably gonna get that on national TV.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sure.
And they'll make it a marquee, like LeBron or something. He'll be.
Because what happens to enormous phenom players when they play LeBron?
One
early in
possession.
their career? Yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to break him
So-
down on the dribble, and both ankles are just going to.
Victor's frame is not like Chet's exactly, though. Chet's like way skinnier than Victor even was. But you're right, he's even bigger and taller.
Yeah, I think Chet was 190, which is the same weight as Steph Curry and me for that matter. And Wembanyama was like 230 or something like that. And so, yeah, he's
240, I think.
a lot more A lot more muscle, a lot more connective tissue holding everything together.
Yeah, I would take no pleasure in him getting hurt at all. I hope that he can play immediately and effectively.
Hornets only have 3.5 minutes left.
Brandon Miller, number 1 on the board, according to Bobby Marks.
Listen,
Scoot
if
number
Scoot
2.
falls, what do you think is going to happen with the Blazers? Do you think they're going to trade it or keep Scoot?
I think they leave it up to Dame. Is the thing. I think
Dame will say trade it.
if Dame says trade it, then I think you trade it.
It depends on what you can get with the trade.
That's the other piece of it. It does depend.
If you're getting Siakam or
Yeah.
Bridges with it, then freaking trade, blow it up. Like, I'm not gonna go all in on Dame and Bridges. I'm sorry.
No,
You better be prepared for it because it could happen. Bridges could be the move, and I know people like Bridges. He's never missed a game. I get it. I get that. But a Damon Bridges ceiling is not a title. Even with other moves, is Bridges a number 2? Ask yourself that. Or is Damon number 2 and Bridges a number 1? No. You're not going to get a better trade chip than the number 3 pick. You're just not, unless you trade Shaden and whatever else, which nobody wants to do. So Dame and Bridges core is not a title.
The thing I like about Zion is, even though him and Bridges are like the same height, Bridges might even be taller. Zion plays like a big guy, which the Blazers desperately need a big guy, and Bridges plays like a guard. He's long and he can shoot over people.
He's a good defender.
Play good defense, but he just doesn't get inside and cause havoc inside, and then allow Dame more space to hit his threes, be a sniper. I think that it's like Zion, that type of player is who I would trade the pick for.
Otherwise, keep it.
Yeah, and maybe Dame will let Scoot play for a year. Maybe he'll see what it's like to have a backcourt of him and Scoot with
the pick is in for Charlotte already.
Oh,
seems like they knew what they were doing. So they didn't even wait for trades. They didn't even, unless there's already a trade in the works and we're not looking at Twitter. They got the Twitter feed going on the bar right there. We might see a spoiler.
Pat McAfee with the tweet.
No, you know what they're showing on ESPN is tweets from like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
they're not up to date with their Twitter feed.
I know. Well, we're gonna have to see this Hornets play right here. Is that Sohan?
Sohan, yeah.
Wow, he really is the Dennis Rodman.
He is. He's the new.
Is there a McNutt bomb going on right now? Monica, I think there might be a McNutt bomb. The pick is
we're going back to the Spurs guy.
Spurs guy.
The Spurs hype
Cowboy
man.
hat, number 1.
I'm just all about the jean shorts, man.
Wile E. Coyote.
Wow. People seem shocked that was the pick.
I know when they had enough anticipation to gather there. Like, oh my God, we did so much.
When they go
Spurs
home,
fans, we love you.
They just wanted to be there.
Please don't roast us in the comment with winky faces. I'm begging you.
Or do it. Just helps the algorithm.
Yeah, it's
Roast us all you want.
we are jealous.
Just
Just
put winky faces.
Yeah.
we are jealous. If Spurs fans ever watch this, we wanted
5 championships in the last 20 years.
5 championships in the last 25 years. Every season that they've had a bad season, they get a generational big man. I think that's pretty sucky for. Oh, is that a real tat?
I think it's a. Oh my goodness.
Does he have a Victor?
Is it hair or is it a tat?
Oh, maybe it's.
I think it's a haircut.
That guy got a Victor tat on his head. Wow, that's a committed guy.
Yeah, before the pick was even in.
That could age badly if Victor does not turn out. I don't know if that was a tattoo. I feel like that's a pretty.
It's like the guy that got the 2022 NBA champ Boston Celtics tattoo.
Oh, Scoot's looking nervous. Scooty.
You going 2 or 3, bro?
Scooter.
2 or 3, bro?
Razor Scooter. Oh, Brandon's on the phone
with Brandon.
Who are you talking to, Brandon?
With?
Come on, the pick is in.
Jordan.
It is. The pick is in.
Oh! Brandon was wearing red and black.
Oh,
Scoot is on the board.
On the board.
Okay, so that that opens up a world of trade opportunities.
How do you
fellas.
feel about losing your $20?
I'm fine with it. I didn't expect this. I really didn't. I thought it was a
Wow,
smoke
I
screen. Look,
did too.
Brandon's wearing red and black. I think he wanted to go to the Blazers. I really do. Why else would he wear red and
Bama.
black? It's true. Is Bama red and black or
Red and white. Red.
The red, at least. Okay. Well, I guess. So who was the only one at the table who was red?
You were right, but now what do they do? You were right the first time. Now what?
Oh man, Scoot and Dame. That
I
puts the
wanna
Blazers
see
in a
it.
tough spot.
I want to see Scoot and Dame
too.
play
We
We
together.
better not see a Bridges trade. I'm telling you,
I know that would be.
it's gonna happen. I have a bad feeling.
That would hurt.
I really hope that doesn't happen. I want to see Dame, Scoot, and Shaden all play together. To be honest, we just have to get.
Let's do like uber athletes next to Dame.
Yeah, we just have to get
Still
two,
not a lot of size.
We got to
but-
get two bigger guys to play the other two positions, who are also mobile, so that they can kind of make up for the
How do you?
defensive.
Simons and the 23rd pick are probably going to go out, right?
Yeah.
Now that we are here at this point.
Yeah.
But that takes away your guy that you were going to slot in at the starting small forward. So how are you going to upgrade at the wing? There's a big question there. We can't go into the season starting Cam Reddish or even I don't even think
What about
Sharp.
Jeremy?
Okay, if you get Zion, you can probably move Jeremy to the
Or
wing.
or another forward, like you said, trade Simons and the pick for a forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Or start those three guys.
I want to start those three guys. That's the thing. I want to start the three guys.
Small and deep.
I don't want to go three guards again. We've been three guards.
But this is a different three guards. That two of them are athletic monsters.
Yeah, but you can only overcome size. So
Quantum, I feel ya. What did just happen? This is mind blowing.
Quantum, what is going to happen here? Oh, we don't know yet. We don't know. Scoot's on the board. The Blazers are waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon
Brandon
Miller
Miller's
went
gone.
number 2. So that is the big question is, are the Blazers going to end up with Brandon or Scoot? And it looks like it's going to be Scoot, but then what do we do with Scoot? And we might trade it before the pick even happens.
Can Scoot play the 2? Chris asks. We don't know. I mean, you might
I would
have
like
to
to see the two.
but
The thing is, him and Dame do very different things.
Yeah.
Scoot's a
needs the ball in his
downhill
hands, though.
player, athletic, can attack the rim. Dame, maybe he can spot up and be that.
Quantum wants to keep Scoot, and I totally
Yeah,
I agree.
Is Dame going to want out when you use this pick on a 6'2" guard?
I know what else are you gonna do? You got to take the best player available.
Oh, no, I know. You don't. I'm saying you don't pass on Scoot. You draft Scoot or you trade him or you trade Dame.
Yeah.
But those are the three
Again,
options. You can't not pick Scoot here. That's the thing. Pick is in. Get done. We put it in already. We didn't even wait. We didn't wait 5 minutes for a deal.
But we can move him later in the night.
We can move him later in the night, and we could probably move him later on, like create a deal in the next month, I think. I think in a month.
Yeah.
It's happened before with Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins was drafted number 1, traded for Kevin Love about a month later before the season started. They're probably just going to take Scoot no matter what and just say, let's sit there and see what happens.
Yeah, you lock him in so that you can start taking calls instead of worrying about being on the clock.
And see what Dame, how Dame reacts.
Look at that hat, how bad it contrasts with the
Bro, no one looks good in that Hornets hat.
okay, but look at the red and black plaid suit.
I think you might be right that he thought he could be going to Portland. That might have been what that call was that he got at the last minute. It was like,
Michael
hey, you know how
Jordan.
you thought you were going to Portland? You're not.
Oh man, yeah. I think you keep Scoot. You see what happens with see if. I just don't. It totally depends on what you can get for him.
It does.
It does.
It really depends on. Like if you can get Zion for him, do it. If you're the best you can get is Bridges, don't do it.
I agree.
And if Dame wants to fall on his sword like that, then let it. I mean, okay,
I
bro,
know.
we'll trade
Okay,
you.
Scoot and Sharp backcourt in the future. That is so exciting. Yeah, Quantum. I agree with you. Before the draft started, he was wearing red and black. I said to them, he's going to the Blazers. That's what I thought too. And it didn't happen. I put money on Scoot going number 2. So this is shocking to me, honestly.
Bobby Marks breaking it down right now.
Yeah, they're still just saying that we have
Yeah,
options, which
He's
is
basically saying exactly what we were saying.
it's true. We have
Scoot-
options.
Scoot has far more value, in my opinion, in a trade.
Yeah.
So
I think so too.
So what the
Because
heck's going to happen?
He's an instant game changer for a team that's in a rebuild mode.
Yes.
So a team that is
That could be the
young.
Blazers. The Blazers could be in a rebuild mode
Could be.
now. You
I
never
mean, we
know.
have been. Blazers have been in a rebuild mode for about the last 2 seasons.
What would you guys do if they drafted Amen Thompson when Scoot's on the board?
I would face palm, bro.
Yeah, no,
That
I
would
wouldn't.
be
I wouldn't
genuinely
be happy.
Pretty bummed. Pretty bummed.
Wouldn't be happy about it because Scoot is potentially generational.
Yeah, you gotta go with him. God, I can already see it. We trade him or we don't draft him, and he turns into the best player in
And
this
guess,
draft
and
class.
we're saying it again.
Here it is.
Just messed
Pick
up.
us in.
All right.
Newest Blazer
There's
is.
Scoot.
No trade. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
the right move.
Good
He's
job.
mad.
That's
He
the
looks
right
mad.
Good job.
Scoot. Everyone's scooting.
That's the right move.
Heck
That's
yeah.
Cronin can keep his job for a couple of days because that was the right move.
I
Yeah.
cannot believe
I was
the
so
Hornets.
afraid he was gonna say amen. No.
I cannot believe the Hornets passed on Scoot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Seems like he could have been a really good fit there.
I think that we have the best chance of getting Zion now because aren't the Pelicans obsessed
Pelicans
with him?
want Scoot.
That's why they wanted the second pick was so that they could be
I
sure
guess
they
that
were
kind of
getting
means
it.
the Hornets weren't interested in Zion unless that's overblown and maybe he's not actually-
It said that they wanted Ingram, is what I heard, and the Blazers preferred Zion. I know the injury concerns with Zion, but man, okay.
Would you be interested in Ingram?
I would. Yes, I love Brandon Ingram. I think he's amazing. But here's my thing. I kind of differ from you guys. I think they either need to rebuild the Scoot or trade him and get Zion. Those are my 2 options.
But if you can't get Zion,
But when you get Zion, I would need other pieces with that. If that's what they're going to do, just because it's such a big risk.
if you can't get Zion, what do you do?
Trade Dame unless you can sit there with Dame and let him play the season out. But Scoot's going to want to start, and he's not a great off-ball player. So Dame was going to have to either play off-ball or Scoot's going to have to come off the bench.
Yeah, it feels like a rebuild, doesn't it? You're seeing this.
I think
this
Dame can
new,
play off ball. I think I'd like to
he's
see.
already taken off the head.
I'd at least like to see them try it.
Yeah, he's taking off the hat and putting a Pelicans hat on. Whoa.
It is interesting seeing this young guard in a Blazers
Look at
hat.
that. Let's look at the highlights really quick before we lose him in a trade.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Oh, so the things
He's
I like about
fiery,
Scoot,
too,
he's
yeah.
fire. He's got an amazing pull-up mid-range shot. Not a great three-point shooter, but a gym rat. Explosive, great passer. I mean, a lot of the things you'd want from a franchise guard at 19 years old.
So tell me this: how does that not fit with what Damian Lillard already does?
6'2" and 6'2".
Yeah.
We've tried it
both
so
ball
many times.
handlers.
So what?
Get size.
I see one guy who's one of the greatest shooters that the game's ever seen, and one guy who can drive, penetrate, kick.
It's not the
Handle the
offense,
ball.
though. It's the defense. You got guys that can just shoot over both. One guy's got to be guarding a guy that's his height, and one guy's going to be guarding a guy that's
6'5", 6'6",
4 or 5
6'7".
inches shorter. And I think Shaden just slots in the 2. So I saw Dyson Daniels on the screen for a second, and I paused.
Like scoot straight across for Dyson Daniels. All right, we have to listen to the
Yeah, let's listen to Scoot.
He's looking fresh.
No matter who's probably, a blessed to be here. I gotta thank the one that got me here in the first place. That's what I had to do.
Mom, Crystal, Dad, Chris, you guys told me at age 5 you knew your son was special. You could see that this day would come. Now that it's here, what's going through your mind? It's amazing. Amazing.
We're currently watching Scoot Henderson, the newest Trailblazer, getting interviewed right now by the McNutt Bomb.
He's wearing a Blazers hat right now. If we trade him, we're gonna look back at this, and if he's a star and we don't get
Yeah.
something good, we're gonna
Remember
look back at
that
this
night
and
he was in
cringe.
the hat?
because he is a star. He is a star. He's going to be a star.
Yeah. Just watching this whole process play out, it makes me think this is the Blazers' new guy. You know, their new franchise centerpiece. And I don't really know how that works with
They're
them.
getting a special player, he said. He wants to do good in the community, he said as well.
He's got big shoes to fill. If he does replace Dame as the franchise guy.
At the same time, I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so watch what he's doing, what he's not doing, and try to perfect the skill set. We're still gonna work it, and nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Congratulations.
Okay, so what? Let me ask you guys this: does that signal Anthony Simons gone, no matter what?
Definitely.
Yeah.
He has to be. I mean, I thought that for the better part of a year anyway, regardless of who they got on draft night. Just with Shaden, Shaden and Scoot and Dame. There's no room for Simons on the Blazers anymore.
No way. If they keep Scoot, Simons has to be gone. Has to. They cannot all play
The only way you keep Simons is if you. Yeah, I was gonna say if you get the only scenario a few days ago was if you
If you
drafted
got Miller.
Miller and traded Dame, but
Mhm.
with Scoot on the team and Shaden on the team, I mean those two guys, there's no way you keep Simons.
So we're kind of flying blind here. We haven't checked Twitter for
Should we?
any, potential trade updates.
Should I look
We
at
could be
Woj?
behind. We could be already, Scoot could have already been traded. I don't think that's the case.
I'm gonna check the Woj box.
But let's double check and see what's going on.
Who do you think Houston's going to take here?
Yeah, Thompson.
Which, if we were sitting at 4,
7 minutes ago, Woj said the Charlotte Hornets has been all in on Brandon Miller the whole time.
so he's spoiling that. I wonder if Shams is saying anything. But if we were sitting at 4, I would like to pick up Amen Thompson. Amen, he's on the phone right now.
high
There it is.
upside.
High upside. He's probably the best athlete in the draft. His shot is broken.
He knows something.
Yeah, he knows.
He just got a call. That's funny. Even if you're not watching the spoilers, you can still see it just from
Oh,
their faces.
Shams spoiled the number 4 pick.
I wonder who it is. Don't spoil it for the live viewers,
Okay.
please.
You guys want to know? Comment if you guys want to know.
I mean, the pick is in. Let's just wait. They'll announce it.
It's it's Grady Dick.
It's Grady Dick. So, dang, there's so much. I cannot believe that it was Scoot. I can't believe the Hornets passed on Scoot. I just can't.
Yeah, that is not what me and Colton thought was going to happen. I thought
Riley
we were
was
gonna end up
right.
with Miller for sure.
But, okay, hear me out, and then you take over. Last year, Woj, all the way up to the draft, said Jabari Smith was going number 1 to Orlando. He was completely wrong. He was wrong. Paolo went number 1. So I thought it was kind of the same thing. People were fishing
Smith
for
went
Woj,
number
but
3, right?
Smith
Chet
went number 3. Yeah.
Picks in. Newest Rocket is.
Amen Thompson.
Thompson.
There it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense for them. They have some good players.
They are a lot of young pieces.
Are they
wonder
going
how
to do
him
the
and-
James Harden thing? Is that
That
going to
would
happen?
be so stupid.
Are they going to gut this team to get James back?
A lot of the rumors were that Harden was using the Rockets for
Yeah,
leverage
that's
to
kinda
get
what I
the
thought,
max
too.
from Philadelphia, but you never know. I don't think their owner, the Rockets owner, is not good.
Tito or whatever. Tito.
For Tillman or something like
Yeah.
that. He is not a great owner from what I've seen. He's cheaped out before, and we have Jody Allen, right? And some of us have complaints about Jody,
Yeah.
but I've heard that he's not a great owner basketball wise. So maybe they still go for Harden, and then they have Harden mentor Amen. Who knows what's going to
Then
happen?
they got Jalen too.
Jalen Green, they got Jabari, they got
Kevin
Tari
Porter will
Eason.
probably end up getting shipped. At this point.
Yeah.
He's kind of the odd man.
100%. Jason Tate, all those people they have that are kind of their bench guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to be there. They have about, I think it was $66 million in cap
And
space.
Shingun too. They got Shingun.
Shingun's
who
good.
a lot of people are very high on.
Shingun's good.
I mean, he kind of has some Joker qualities.
He does.
He's obviously, not as polished, but I don't know. There's a fine line between Cantor and Jokic, as we all know, and I think he straddles that line. at times.
Şengün, I think he's definitely removed from Cantor territory. He's a great passer too.
You mean freedom?
And
Yeah,
his
sorry.
freedom.
Yes,
Yeah.
freedom.
Wow.
Who's only not in the
Now-
league
now he
because
just
of
takes
political pressure.
Now he just takes pot shots on Twitter at LeBron James. That's his newest profession.
Oh, before we move fully on, we already kind of had from Scoot. The Blazers did something interesting about a month back, and I noticed it, and I'm sure other people noticed it too. In the Blazers pre-draft interview with Scoot, he mentioned Pooh. You guys know Pooh Jeer? He's a guy that played in the G League with Scoot, okay? In there,
Wow,
okay,
this
so
is-
hear me out,
we're
though.
talking about
So-
poo, bro.
They hired Pooh
on the
as the assistant GM of the G League team.
Oh, he's like a coach.
Yeah, he's on the G League. He's a part of the head
Huh.
staff of the G League team. Scoot was raving about this guy. And then about 2 days later, the Blazers hired him as part of their, culture.
They
and
probably
organization.
knew Charlotte was going all in on.
Maybe. They
Miller.
maybe thought they already knew that he was going for Miller, and they hired
So
Pooh.
you would trade Scoot for Ingram?
It's a tough call. isn't
Here's
it?
the thing. Ingram would fit this team super well. I think people underrate Ingram. He's an all-star. I still would want pieces with Ingram or Zion, just because here's the thing. Zion is a massive risk.
Mhm.
You got to have some risk mitigation. Ingram is close, but not quite the level of Zion. And so you got to get another piece back. It doesn't have to be a major piece, but you got to get something for the risk negation for Zion. Something like their lottery pick or Dyson Daniels, or if you can make more moves, Herb Jones. I think that there's a way you could trade Simons and get assets in a 3-team deal and route that to New Orleans, but
Sham spoiling the number 5 pick.
of course he does. Of course
God,
he does.
this is all over it.
Shams. But Shams was saying that Scoot was going number 2.
It's true.
And guess what? Guess who Shams is employed by?
Hmm.
Some betting things. So people were thinking he was maybe there to sway the betting lines. I think it's
You got sucked in.
yeah, I got sucked in. No, honestly, yesterday the Hornets had a press conference where their GM I think he was just trying to prop up trade offers because he was like, yeah, I don't know who we're gonna go. We got to go with talent over fit. So when he said talent over fit, I thought that meant he was gonna go Scoot. He didn't.
I was pretty sure that it was going to be Miller as soon as I saw how comfortable Miller was, like, talking shit with Jordan. Because they were, like, going back and forth the last couple of days. Like,
True.
Miller was saying, like, yeah, he's not in my GOAT conversation, but then he's laughing about it or whatever. I mean, they were, like, joking around, giving each other shit. Like, you don't do that with the owner of a
Playing golf
team
together.
that you don't know, that you're going to. So I think they told him that they were probably going to take him, which kind of goes against the suit he was wearing. But maybe he was employed by the betting company, try to throw everybody off a little bit.
Or maybe he just knows he looks great in plaid.
Get Colton's $20.
Yeah. You know what? I'm fine with it. Scoot is
They
an
all
amazing player.
conspired to get Colton's $20.
Scoot is an amazing player.
Yeah, I've said all along that he's the one that I want the most out of those two.
So if it's a keep Scoot and rebuild, a Scoot and Sharp backcourt
It's
is
exciting.
nuts.
Yeah,
You don't want
that's
to
a
lose
great.
Dame,
That's a
but
great rebuild.
wow. Yeah, that's highest potential. Between both of them. That's crazy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've heard the term that the Blazers front office has been using the last few weeks to try to keep the pick and keep Dame. They keep
Thread the
referencing thread the needle, and
it's
it's tough, but
keep an eye on Dame sub
it's
tweets.
interesting
Yeah.
trying to keep a franchise player while you go through a full rebuild because that's basically what the Blazers have done the past 2 seasons. And
I wish Dame
drafted
was like
his
3
position.
years younger.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we need that much more time because it's not like he's at the end of his career yet, but we could use a couple more years. If he was a few years younger, then he could definitely deal with Scoot because Scoot could be great in 2 years. There's no
Yeah,
reason
it's just
he couldn't
tough,
be.
like we
the
said.
other Thompson goes off the board to Detroit.
Wow, that's interesting. I was wondering. So the Thompsons
Sarge
went back to
Thompson
back.
is really good, actually. I almost like him as much as Amen just because his jumper is way better.
Yeah.
And they're, same. They got the twin DNA going, so it's not like he's that much less
The
athletic.
next Morris twins.
And the Lopez twins.
Amen's always going to have it on his brother that he got picked one
Yeah.
higher. He's gonna.
His name's Amen. That's a cool name. That's a cool NBA player name. But we'll see.
Imagine the merch opportunities.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
all the
Sorry,
prayers.
Yeah, and that's a cool name too, but not as cool as Amen.
Well, Amen just gives you all the merch opportunities.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. Tons of shirts, of shots going in with Amen.
That should be his signature celebration.
Yeah, just
Like he makes a three and just every time. That would be easy.
God, imagine how much he needs to get in touch with some marketing execs because they could probably predict how much money he will make if he starts doing that immediately. Be like, if you start doing the Amen celebration now, it's going to be an extra $2.6 billion over your career.
the Catholic Church is like, we will give you $10 million to do this.
Wow, is that of the Catholic Church?
Have you ever heard that?
So one thing I think is interesting that we should kind of stay monitored to is Orlando Magic. I think is a kind of decent likely landing spot for Simons if he is traded.
Mm-hmm.
They have 2 lottery picks.
IMG Academy.
He's from Orlando. They wouldn't trade the 6th pick for Anthony Simons, but they have the 11th pick, and I'm wondering if in some kind of a deal because the Magic need shooting bad, and they need a good guard that's a lead guard. They have Fultz. Fultz is pretty good, but Simons would fit their
Cole
roster
Anthony.
well. Cole Anthony, yeah, but that's my point. Thank you. Like he comes off the bench for a reason. They have Suggs. I don't know. I mean, they do have a lot of guards, but do any of them stand out from the pack enough? I think Simons would be a perfect player on their team. They'd have Franz Wagner.
What would you want to get back
Paulo,
from him?
the 11th pick, or in a 3-team deal for like OG or something.
There's no guy on their team that you'd be excited about getting.
Not that they would give away, except for maybe Wendell
Wendell.
Carter. Yeah. But I don't know if they trade 11 and Wendell Carter just for Anthony.
So they have the 6th pick and the
Yeah.
11th pick.
That's why I'm saying it's interesting. We'll see. They're probably not going to go guard here. And if they do, then that shuts that door. I don't think they're going to, though. I think they'll probably go forward here.
Yeah, the guards are kind of getting off the board at this point. Aren't they? It's a lot more with the Thompson twins and Scoot off. It's more like the Jarris Walkers and the Cam Whitmore.
Hendricks,
Yeah.
Whitmore. Yeah.
Forwards.
Look like Grady Dix, the top guard left on the board.
Let's go.
I think he's a forward, but
I think he was listed on there.
Yeah, he's
guard.
like a.
I thought he's like
big shooting guard.
6'9".
Yeah, he's a shooter though, which I guess he could be a small forward.
I think he's going to be a forward.
I could have been wrong. Maybe
You could be right.
Oh, yeah.
Guard. It does say guard. What is his height? I wonder.
I thought he was more in like 6'7".
6'7". Yeah. So we're right on the line.
Yeah, that's
Could
like
be
a
either
Klay
one.
Thompson.
Mhm.
Why is this happening?
The dance party on From the Low.
God, Shams keeps spoiling this for me. I keep looking at him for trade.
Well, look at Woj. Woj probably would only report on a trade. Because I think Woj got told not to spoil the picks this year because he works for ESPN. And so people
He
were
went
mad.
corporate.
He went corporate. Yeah,
now
he
he's
sold
not
out.
as good. Now the last thing he said was about
Brandon Miller. That's pretty crazy. I'm still in shock.
Yeah. It makes things a lot more complicated for the Blazers, that's for sure. If we would have had Miller, I think we would have had a better chance of retaining
Of threading
Dame.
the needle.
Yeah.
With doing both
With
timelines.
this, I just don't really understand how Dame, Scoot, and Shaden works. I want it to work. I'm like desperately trying to find a way to make it work, but that just doesn't.
I think he just make it work.
God, it just never has worked for the Blazers though. Trying to do that.
I'm glad that they
Trying to
went
smash
for
guards
best
together.
player available.
Yeah,
They
it's-
didn't reach as far as we know that they haven't traded back or something. It looks like they went for best player available. So I'm happy with that.
there was really no questions. Whoever you take, whoever the Hornets didn't take of those two.
They did go guard. Wow. Okay, that shocks me, and that I think takes them off the board as a Simons destination.
Maybe
I did
he's
not see that.
he's not really a point guard. He's like an off guard, but
Yeah, but they've got a lot of guards.
Yeah,
They're stacked on guards, and that actually might mean that one of their guards is going out in a trade right off the
Wow.
bat.
It's a hell of a do.
Like that would be hot.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I thought for sure they would go forward, but I mean, I know they have Wagner and Allo, but
Wagner.
So one thing that we haven't really talked about on the podcast for a good reason, but I feel like it has to be brought up now. Say that Dame is willing to play with Scoot, but we can't do the 3 guards. What's your limit for Shaden?
trading Shaden.
Yeah.
I would trade Scoot before I trade Shaden of that if you're keeping Dame.
We finally have a shooting guard that's the right height. And
Yeah.
then we trade it and go back down to 2.62 guards.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
There's no one you'd trade him
Well,
for?
okay, I would trade
You would.
Shaden for a star for sure. But I think that a team looking to acquire,
I don't know if I trade him for Zion. I would hesitate. I guess I maybe would. But
they want Scoot anyways. That's
Yeah.
the rumors. My thing is, I think you could trade about the same tier of player, Scoot, as you could for Shaden. Shaden's
Yeah.
a highly valued asset right now.
I would
If
keep
somebody
Shaden.
said, "Hey, give me Shaden," like I would throw him in for a top 10 player, definitely for like Embiid or something that has to fit the lineup. But yeah, I think it'd be Scoot that goes if it's one of them. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. They could try and do it again, but I just want size at the 2. We've seen it so many years now. It was CJ straight into Simons, no breaks. When we saw Dame with Wesley Matthews, with a guard with size, that worked well. We'll see. Shaden might not turn into the defender Matthews is, but at least he has size and athleticism. Yes.
Yeah, I would hate to see Shaden go. It's just that if we're saying that there's a problem with 3 guards, that's one of the 3 guards.
Yeah. Yeah, the issue isn't so much with the 3 guards, it's with the 2-6-2 point guards that are.
If one of them was 6'7", 6'6",
I know.
it wouldn't be a problem.
I've thought for years now. Imagine if Dame was like Brandon Roy size, 6'6", 6'7". He would probably be the best player in the league, and he'd be like Kobe, and he would be. We would have been able to pair him with CJ. Would have worked better. Pairing him with Simons would have worked better.
Seriously.
But he's not. And he's still a freaking stud. So Blazers got to figure out a way to get some players or some complementary pieces around him and make it work if they're going to keep him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, that's the thing we talked about before the pick was made. There's time to talk deals with teams. It doesn't have to be done right this second. But I do think Dame is going to sit down and be like, all right, what's our plan?
Yep.
Because you just
I hope
drafted a
so.
6'2" guard,
Yeah.
and that's what I play, and that's my height. So what are we doing? Do you guys have a plan? I really don't expect us to go into the season starting Dame, Scoot, Shaden. I just don't think it's going to happen, and I don't know if I want it to happen even. So
I would personally, I wouldn't mind seeing it for a little while. I mean, this year's probably not going to be a championship year no matter what we do. So I wouldn't mind seeing what it looks like.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing what it looks like, but I just don't have high hopes that it would work super well.
I think that they play very differently, and the athleticism is a lot different than what we saw Dame do with CJ. CJ is not an athletic freak.
yeah,
He's
You're
not a high flyer. Couldn't do what Shaden or
Miller's gonna.
Scoot can do.
Henderson's gonna have to prove himself to be able to guard
he has a
guys
6'9"
that are.
wingspan.
Yeah,
He might be able to guard.
if he can guard guys that are 6'6", 6'7", then that maybe you can hold them down. But
Maybe.
there's been countless examples of 2 really good point guards that just don't work together on the same team. Like
Fox and Halliburton.
yeah, and Garland and Sexton too.
Sexton. So they talked about a stat that said, "Oh,
And Halliburton's like 6'7".
the Pacers just picked up Wemby's teammate."
Hmm.
That's kind of a
Koulibaly.
Wow, he was 12th on the mock draft for Tankathon.
Yeah, there's been a few kind of shifts from what was expected.
Cam Whitmore,
Thompson's
Jarris
moved up.
Jarris Walker,
Jarris Walker.
both still available. Hendricks still available.
I think the Mavericks are praying that Hendricks falls to them. which, I mean, he could, unless these next 3 teams go forward. Which I think that Washington will. Washington just picked up Jordan Poole, and they also picked up Tyus Jones, which he's a good point guard. So I think they'll go forward here. I know you can't draft around those 2 guys, but I think
with the best available being forward anyway.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy. He's
Wemby's teammate.
small forward, 6'8", 194 pounds.
He averaged 5 points per game on.
Is he
53%
French?
shooting? And yeah, I believe so.
Koulibaly?
Bilal, yeah.
Bilal Koulibaly? It's fun to say. I'm going to say it a few times, I think.
Go for it. He's like, oh, I got to go to Indiana.
7'2" wingspan.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
He was scoring 5 points a game, but that's with Victor on his team. There's not enough points
it's
to go
harder
around.
to
This
score
is
more points per
16.3.
game.
Maybe this is wrong, but they have much more.
Yeah.
They have much better stats.
I wonder if that's like across a career or something versus just the last year.
I think it's probably last year. I don't know what the stats we're looking at, but
Oh, that was per 36 minutes. Per game averages 10. Still 11 points.
I mean, it's harder to score in EuroLeague, especially as young guys. A lot of the times over there, the more established players get all the minutes and stuff like that. So it's understandable that he has kind of a lower scoring average there.
So do you think that the Spurs have any opportunity to pick up any free agents this offseason now that they have a generational talent?
They have an opportunity, but it'd have to be the right fit. It'd have to be a young player.
They need a point guard. But here's my question. Do they want to go all in on like a Fred VanVleet and then just be kind of an average team, or do they want to tank one more year?
Maybe get another. Yeah, if they could get a Scoot Henderson type of player next year to pair with Whitby.
Exactly. Next year's draft is apparently a lot weaker. So it's a good thing we tanked this year and got what would be a number 1 pick in a lot of drafts. That's a big coup for the Blazers. And that's why it was so important to tank too.
I don't even know any of the prospects.
It's not a hot draft class. From what I've heard, it's not very promising. That can change, but
Oh, that Booze Zealous guy. I've heard of him. I've seen him on social media. Matas Boozelis. A super tall / skinny wing.
So basically,
I've
Brandon Miller.
heard of Ron Holland.
His comp is a bigger Mike Dunleavy Jr. That's the projected number.
Look at the number. The number.
What's Woj saying? The Wizards traded up to get Koulibaly.
The number 2 and 3 pick for next year. Their comps are both Kuminga. And the number 4 is Mo Bamba. Number 5, Ilgauskas.
I can see.
You were right.
I can see why it's a weak draft
Oh my
class.
goodness.
The top 5 are Mo Bambas, Ilgauskases, and Kumingas.
I got 2 and 3. They're both Kuminga.
What is Woj saying?
That kind of feels like a lazy comp. They're just
He's talking about
they can't
trades
even come up
earlier.
with another player that's like Kuminga. They're just like, also
Copy
like
Kuminga.
Yeah. Number 2, Kuminga. Number 3,
I mean, they play similar. I guess let's go with Kuminga again. Who's this draft's
For
Kuminga?
one thing, comps are always kind of funny, and
They are.
almost always
In
wrong.
hindsight.
Yeah.
What Brandon Roy's comp was a better Doug Christie.
That's right. It's a great example.
He's like, they kind of look alike. I guess we'll go
Yeah.
with a better Doug Christie.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing that's weird sometimes about comps is that I feel like they go based on what they look like sometimes.
They're like, what skin color is Buzelis?
Yeah.
It can't be. It's got to be another white guy.
Yeah, like especially like white guards, their comps are always white guards. And like obviously like the super tall white guys, their comps are always super tall white guys, you know.
So this is for the Pacers. There's Jarris Walker. Dang, so the Wizards traded
the
up one
board.
spot to pick up Wemby's teammate, who may or may not be that wing that they're looking for. What did they give up to move up one spot to get a guy that might be kind of an unknown? That's kind of a risky move. That's like a Washington Wizards move. Trading up one spot to draft a guy from France that's not Wemby, right?
That probably would have fell to them regardless.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
they
know.
had inside information that.
Unless I misheard Woj, I kind of want to see what he said. You know,
Yeah, he didn't post it on. I think he's too busy to be tweeting right now. I'm going back to Shane.
Getting an assistant, dude.
Yeah, Indiana is selecting Jarris Walker at number 8 via Wizards in this 7-for-8 flip. Washington also sends 2 second-round picks to the Pacers.
what did they send at the beginning?
It's a flip, so they sent 7-for-8, and they also added 2 second-round
Oh, it
picks.
was just 2 second rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's nothing.
Which are basically just
Pacers.
cryptocurrency, right?
Pace, I mean, no, we've talked about this before.
Cryptocurrency.
But they probably knew that they probably were going to take Walker anyway.
Yeah,
they were gonna
I
take
get
him,
it,
so
I get it,
might
but
as well get 2 picks.
yeah, oh, for sure. If that's your guy, that's what I'm saying. Pacers, you could have tried to get extract a little bit more. I feel like say, oh, if you really want him, but I get it. It's 2 free picks, 2 free seconds.
Yeah, it's weird because he's. I guess maybe Indiana told Washington like, "Oh, we're gonna take him. Like, we're taking Kololabi or whatever."
No, I want Riley to say it again. You said it better.
Bilal Kololabi.
Hilal Kulabi.
Kololabi is-
Koulibaly? Koulibaly.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Koulibaly.
You know, it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of this lottery goes.
How this offseason goes.
How this offseason goes, man. That's crazy.
Oh, Sham's spoiling number 9 for me.
Yeah,
Come on, somebody do a trade. Somebody do a cool.
You
trade.
just saw the trade of the
a
lifetime.
cool trade.
The
dude.
Pacers and the Wizards.
Those 2 teams just rock my socks.
With that 7-for-8 swap.
Rocked my socks. Yeah. I'm really, really okay. So let's talk about this, guys. What happens at pick 23 now? We got Scoot, and so far he's still in a Blazer hat.
I don't think there's really any way to, as far as like who we're gonna take or if we're gonna trade it.
Or what's going to happen with it? Are we going to take somebody?
I think
or
it's
trade it?
very hard to predict who we're gonna take. It's gonna be who's available.
Well. It's going to be a big man, is my guess.
But
There's a
I think
chance.
that there's a really good chance that we trade that one. Hopefully in a package with Simons for some size.
That would be ideal, and that's what I hope they do too. If Cronin wants to stay on my good side and continue to keep his job, it would be a move like that.
Are
I
you
think
a
it's gonna-
Vulcan?
Yeah, I am Vulcan.
you are the Vulcan.
See the suit?
I think it's going to end up going to Chicago.
To unlock the future picks.
Might be kind of a wet part of like here you go, Chicago. We'll take some salary. What do you guys? Well,
What a
that's what,
descriptor.
that's what I think it's going to be. I just think that it's just going to be sent. So it was interesting. If you looked at the players that the Blazers invited in for a workout, a lot of the high first round guys, a lot of the second round guys, not a lot of guys that are mocked around pick 23. That doesn't mean you can't pick somebody because Neil Olshey famously drafted Zach Collins after trading up for him after not bringing him in for a workout.
Yeah.
Thanks, Neil, again. Passed on Bam and Donovan Mitchell on the way.
Oh.
But so you can still not,
For
pick somebody that
Zico.
you work out. But, Zico. Zico. That is such a... All right, Grady Dick to the Jazz. Is that what we're going to see?
Obviously. Where else would he go?
Yeah, no, that's a
If
that's
they
a
pick
great
Grady Dick,
pick.
I think it's going to be a laughter pop off.
Yeah, no, that is.
They have the 16th pick to potentially get into.
I can see the man in a Jazz jersey, no problem, because I've seen it like 15 times already.
He was wearing a crazy red suit too. I don't know if you guys saw that. Maybe he thought the Blazers were going to pick him.
His player comp, Gordon Hayward slash Tyler Hero slash Duncan Robinson.
Slash a taller Jeff Hornacek.
Slash Kuminga.
Slash Kuminga.
No, that doesn't.
I know.
Oh, we got a Scoop commercial.
Here we go. Oh, he's already wearing a Blazers.
Yeah, he was working that NIL deal to the last minute.
Overly determined to dominate. That's his slogan. Okay. ODD.
I have seen that slogan before. Yeah.
ODD.
What's this
He's
commercial
Puma.
for? Oh, Puma.
No,
It's
AT&T.
AT&T.
He was wearing Puma. It was bigger. So he must be
Him and-
Puma's big guy.
Him and Lillard repping the weird brands.
Adidas
The,
is
the non-Nike brands.
Adidas isn't a weird brand. That'd be like Under Armour, like Curry.
Yeah.
Puma is a weird
Puma's kind of a weird brand.
thing.
Excited for some. What? Scoots? Is that going to be the name of his shoes? Scoots.
Scoot ones.
What's his nickname going to be? Is it just Scoot?
Probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's already got a
Razor?
nickname. The Razor Scoot.
Razor Scooter.
Oh, do you know where the name comes from? Scoot. Apparently, when he was a baby, he'd always like scoot his diapered ass across the carpet.
Like Greg the other night.
Yeah, and that's where Scoot comes from. So you know,
Well, it doesn't matter how he got it. I like it.
I don't know if I would have kept it based on that, but
Hey, Scoot's a good name, a good NBA player name as it is. So
His real name is Sterling too, which is so much cooler.
I
and
know.
siblings all have crazy names or unique names, not
Yeah.
crazy.
As crazy as Puma. As crazy as
No, but just look up his siblings' names. There's some wild ones in there.
She's like a top WNBA prospect.
His sister?
Yeah.
is that who was on that commercial with him?
I think so.
Oh,
Probably.
okay, that makes sense. For anyone just tuning in, Scoot's already doing commercials.
Not wearing the Blazers logo. yet.
Crystal
Yeah.
Henderson, also known as Moochie.
Moochie.
Wow, Moochie and Scoot.
They said Moochie might even be better. That's who the Blazers should have drafted.
Yeah, it's going to be the next Cheryl and Reggie Miller.
5'6".
5'6".
That sounds like a Blazer.
That's a
song.
Blazer player.
That's a Blazer
Should we
song.
start her with Dame?
So we're gonna play Moochie, Dame, and Scoot at
And
1, 2,
Shaden.
3, Shaden at the 4.
And you at the 5.
Yeah, we
6'10".
have to have
You gotta
someone
get
at least
6'10".
6'10" to get clean up.
5-guard lineup. We were talking about this last year too. 5-guard lineup.
I can't even
Like bring back Gary Payton to play the center.
Just
Like he
remember,
would play.
like we started Norman Powell basically a full year at the 3, and he was 6'3". How many times are we gonna try it? I don't know.
One more time.
One more.
That's all I'm asking for.
See if Scoot's any different. Man. It's gonna be interesting to look at, see if Dame, I kind of said this earlier, puts out any like nuggets of subtweet info
A
for
statement
us.
or a
Yeah.
tweet or a congratulations or anything.
Yes. Kirby, pull up Dame's Twitter and see.
He's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. He's like, I don't want Scoot Henderson on my team. That's
Taylor Hendricks at 9.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Cam Whitmore has fallen a bit.
Dallas, I bet Dallas goes Cam Whitmore right now. That's
That's a good.
That's a
It could
really
be a good
good
pick for them.
So Cam Whitmore, a lot of people really liked him. I didn't like him because he's not a good playmaker. He's like historically bad playmaker, like double the assists to turnover or double the turnovers to assists or something
That's
like that.
not good.
Nothing on Dame's Twitter.
Nothing on Dame's Twitter. Well, if
It's the story.
Whitmore goes to Dallas, Luka's the playmaker and Kyrie's the playmaker. That's a really good fit for them. They don't get a big, which they need, but they should just take Whitmore here and be happy.
They probably should because he has
there's
some
a
upside.
trade from Shams, but it would spoil the number 10 pick. Because when it hit,
No, yeah, it's
I'm gonna guess it's Atlanta without looking.
you're way off.
Kirby looking ahead at the Shams timeline.
I'm trying to see if there's any trades.
you just gotta search hashtags.
no search. Just stick to it.
He's not posting jack shit.
If there was a trade, he would. He did when there was the trade before.
He didn't say the
The Pacers and Wizards one. Yeah. He just tweeted 1 more minute ago. Compensation update on the Wizards move up. Washington sending Indiana's 2nd round pick and their own 2nd round pick. Okay. So you're just explaining the seconds that were moved.
Can you think of any package that the Spurs could put together to try to get someone to pair with Wemby?
It depends on what you want. Do you want like an established veteran or a young?
No, more someone to pair with Wemby, like for a run, you know, like maybe
Those
like a
guys are
third
hard
year
to
guy
get.
or something like that. But I mean, if they were willing to give,
I mean,
you know,
like-
everything,
Like take a waiver on John Morant or something.
No, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd want someone to like Scoot even, but that's not
Yeah.
happening with what they got.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
there's
they
nothing I
don't
want.
really have assets to.
I mean, they have future firsts, but if they trade them and add them to whoever they get to Wemby, then they have Keldon Johnson, who's not my favorite player, but you know they'd have start to have some pieces there. Their picks are going to be less and less valuable as Wemby ages,
Yep, exactly.
and none of their young prospects are like must have in my opinion. So I don't know. It depends on what team, whatever team's looking for depth. What about trading for Ayton and then playing Wemby at the, and so giving the Suns depth and playing Ayton at the center and Wemby at the power forward?
Sohan at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think they need a guard. That's
Yeah, I'm
I
just
think
saying
that
that's
they-
a guy to add.
I'd rather if
Fourth
I was a
year guy.
Spurs GM, I'd rather be looking at a guard than another
For sure.
because I think Wemby and Sohan potentially could be a really good front court.
Totally. But you guys think he's going to play the 4, right? Wemby?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's basketball is
So much
becoming
more position.
less and less about positions. I think he'll
It's
probably
true, but
flip between the 4 and
It
5.
probably depends on who he has to guard that night.
Yeah.
I'm sure he and Jokic are going to go up against each other.
And if
so-
you have a guy like Sohan who's also very positionless, he can play like 3 through 5, then you can just match him up, just whatever matchups work, you know.
I think that center and point guard are the most separated from positionless. I think 2 through 4. But yeah, I get what you guys are saying. It'll definitely depend on the matchup. I just think you don't want Wemby banging in the post right now until you're sure his
No.
frame can handle it. So
well, certainly not against guys like Embiid or even Nurkic.
Jokic.
You know, even guys like
That's what I'm saying.
Nurkic or Aiden. You know,
I
I would.
Woj Woj, is he going to talk about the trade?
Wait, did you say 10 and Bertans for 12?
It's got to be the other way around. Right?
And also Atlanta.
That was my guess. So the Thunder are now going to add Cam Whitmore to most likely to. I don't know.
You would be wrong about
Dang,
that.
Whitmore is really sliding, and so I said his basketball IQ. I don't know about it.
Maybe we'll grab him at 23.
So, yeah.
So that's the other thing is we've been talking about 23 probably being a big guy, but could it also be a wing at this point? Because
If we keep it, I don't think we're going to keep it.
that's true.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, the Blazers got a lot of stuff to figure out. Jeremy too, where he fits in.
Someone better be on the damn phone right now figuring some stuff out because things are going to change a lot.
Joe is, I guarantee, taking calls from a lot of teams.
I did hear that they've shut down basically everyone who's called and inquired about game.
Yeah.
For now. So what was the compensation for that? I didn't hear. What was
Bertans.
So it's salary move, and they traded back in the lottery just for salary. Wow, Luka's gonna really love that. Yeah. Woj mistweeted. He said the Mavericks are trading number 10 and Davis Bertans to the Thunder for number 10. He's tweeting too fast.
We already know that one.
It's old news, Adam.
He's gonna have to announce this one in 3 more picks.
AKA the Thunder.
So the Thunder. Wow. Okay. So he's going to play with Shea. I mean, how does that fit work? I mean, is
That's
Shea their
interesting.
point? And
Yeah.
so they traded up to get a guard. I feel like the Thunder. Well, the Thunder have Jalen Williams and Jalen Williams and Chet. I guess that might be their position of need. Another guard. I don't know, Dort.
Yeah, they had. Oh, I remember last year they had what, and Giddy too. He's their point guard.
It's never a bad idea to take a Kentucky
Yeah,
guard or player.
That's
Most,
true.
in my opinion, they almost always turn out to be good NBA players. Some of them bust, obviously, but it's a good place to draft a guy from.
yeah. I wonder if the Thunder will try to take a big swing this year.
Well, I'm really interested to see what happens with this Magic pick. I thought they said that they didn't want to take 2 young rookies to add to this core, but maybe they do. We'll see.
Or maybe they're just kind of in a similar position to what we did, which is like take the
took-
talent that's on the board and then take calls. you
They
know?
took Anthony Black with the first pick.
Because it does make sense to take what you can, lock it in, and then take your time, because at that point you have a little bit more power in the situation. Because I'm sure that when you're on the clock and you're taking trade calls, they're trying to sneak whatever they can on you.
Yeah.
Like, do it now. You're almost out of time.
That's what I'm talking about. Once you get to a deadline, that's when all the deals come into play. I'm glad that whatever happened, Joe didn't rush into a decision. We'll probably hear more chatter in the coming days, but
it was the right move to take Scoot regardless of what
100%.
happens.
At least it
because
hasn't
he
been
has a lot of
announced yet
value.
that we traded him for Bridges.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Or Tyler Hero.
So-
Up to this point.
going into free agency, I think the Blazers actually can open up a full mid-level exception. So that's something to consider. I don't know what wings are out there for that, but
Draymond.
I don't think he'd take that deal. I think he's going to want more than that, or unless it's from Golden State.
There's a possibility that Draymond, part of the reason that he opted out was actually so he could take a really team-friendly deal in order to try to help them win.
I saw a meme that was like an Instagram post that was like the Warriors' potential starting lineup next year is like Draymond, Wiggins, Thompson, Curry, and Chris Paul. And the top comment was like Jokic is going to have a 70-point triple-double on this small-ass lineup.
I think Chris Paul might come off the bench.
I think he probably will. Yeah, which he's not a bad
Curry's a
backup.
point guard. He's not a shooting guard.
No.
It's just like, but Dame could.
Yeah, and Curry's the off-ball king.
Don't be comparing any of these 3 guys to Chris Paul.
Why not?
Chris Paul's worse.
Okay, I see. Well, you're saying on ball, anyways. That Curry he's not a shooting guard.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that their 3-guard lineup is not necessarily a direct comparison to our 3-guard lineup because we don't have to deal with Chris Paul.
All NBA, like 12-time All-Star. It's
2 wins away from a title.
And then what happened, Colton? Then what
how
happened?
close has Dame got to a title?
Giannis happened. He scored 50 points, I think, in that next game.
Is Dame the closest he's been 8 wins away? Because I think they got swept in the Western Conference Finals. Right?
Still hurts. I think they were easily able to get about 2 or 3 of those losses as wins. The Blazers were winning at halftime 3 out of the 4 games, and a couple of them by like 15 points.
They just kept collapsing.
It was
on
like the third
Warriors
quarter.
runs.
Warriors
Yeah.
were like 3 after 3 after 3. Aminu and Harkless were like, I can't do that.
Harkless trying to block with his foot.
Yeah. Yeah. Ninja headband Mo.
It didn't work.
Ooh, Calipari.
Coach Cal.
Shaden. I remember when he said Shaden should be the number 1 pick last year. He was high on Shaden.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Yeah, there's good
Saw
reason
him
to
in
be high on
practice.
Shaden. I'm excited to see what he looks like coming into this next year.
Yeah.
Because
Do you think he plays in Summer League? Shaden.
probably as
Just
long
a
as he
question.
feels good. As long as he's
Oh,
feeling
we got a
healthy.
trade. Oh,
Al-Farouq Aminu!
Wendell Carter, Otto Porter.
No, this was the recap from 2 years ago.
Oh. I thought it was the other way around. I'm like, why are they doing that trade? again?
They traded William Bitch back. Another guard.
Wow, what are they doing with all their guards? They must have a
Something's
plan.
going on there.
They gotta have a plan.
Something's
What was
brewing.
this guy is like not even on my list.
Jet Howard.
23rd was Tankathon.
Blazers. We just mocked the Blazers.
Wow, and he went 11. That's why his family was freaking out. They weren't expecting it,
He must have hit some big combine numbers, maybe like
or
athletic.
just had a great workout or something.
He's
Oh,
Juwan
Juwan
Howard.
Howard's son.
Oh wow, he kind of looks like him.
Is Juwan there? I didn't see him.
Blazers a legend for that one season when it was like the most injury prone team.
Yeah, he ended up playing a lot of minutes
Him
for
and,
us.
him and Marcus Camby, legendary moments.
Marcus Camby.
Hey, Marcus Camby Blazer season was pretty fun.
That was a fun season.
Wow. Well, I don't really know a lot about Jet Howard. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wasn't prepared to talk about the Magic picking 2 guards. I guess there's Juwan.
He's a tall guard.
Is he the Michigan coach? Juwan Howard?
I don't know.
No.
Oh,
Why can't I think of his name?
the
Tom Izzo.
no, that's Michigan State.
Is it? Oh, Michigan.
Juwan Howard. He had something happen, didn't he? He like
We're all like,
I think I don't think he got
he's the
fired.
current
But,
head coach of the Wolverines.
yeah, I don't think he got fired, but I think he
Oh,
got in some trouble.
Yeah, there's some sort of.
He got in a fight.
Yeah,
or
it was like
something.
on the court.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
about, like,
that's
handshake or
right.
something.
Yeah, he got in a fight.
Okay, let's look at this guy's highlights.
So he played for his dad.
Yeah, that's interesting. Cam Whitmore still sitting on the board.
Crazy.
Still there for Dallas. Dallas traded back for salary and can still get him.
I guess maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they knew who they wanted and they knew who was going to get picked the next couple spots, so they just went ahead and did the trade.
If he sits there any longer, if I'm the Blazers, I'd call up whoever the next team is and try and trade up and get him. I mean, as much as he has issues with playmaking,
We don't really.
he would be a good wing to slot in,
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
we need more of a. We don't necessarily need
Number
a,
2 small forward in this.
He was
class.
projected to go like 4. He was like the
Yeah,
4th
that's what I'm
best
saying.
available.
Yeah. I was expecting him to go top 5, and yeah, he's still sitting there at 12.
I think he'll go to Dallas.
I'm
right
sure,
here.
yeah.
I'm like positive. He will.
That's probably who they picked. That makes sense.
Who's got the 13th pick, Kirby? I don't remember off the top of my head. Raptors.
Toronto, yeah.
Call Toronto and be like, hey, we'll trade you Simons.
For Grady,
Not for Grady, for
because
Whitmore.
Whitmore's about to go.
Because they don't need more wings. So if Dallas doesn't pick him,
They're taking him right here. They already did. The pick's in.
yeah, I mean, you're right. He is going here. But if he doesn't, I would maybe try calling up Toronto. I'm not even
It would be interesting if one of these guys fell to Portland.
not going to fall to 23.
Lively.
They might. Oh, Dallas might pick Lively. To be honest, Dallas needs
Bunch
a
of
big.
guards outside of that. And
Chris Murray, which is
Yeah.
Keegan's brother.
Clowney.
Yeah,
You know anything about Leonard Miller?
yeah, he's a solid prospect too. I actually thought he was going to go higher. I think he's a
The
play.
best Miller in this draft.
Exactly. Now that we didn't draft Brandon,
Yeah, we can
we
talk
can talk about him. What was he doing in his incident? You know,
Yeah.
Uh,
Riley, have you done any investigative work on this?
and then watch.
serious character.
Wait, watch.
problems.
We traded up. We traded up. Charlotte.
Just, ooh, never mind. It's no big
We
deal.
love you,
It's
Brandon. Come on,
just a capital.
come on
murder
the show
charge.
sometime.
Wear that suit. It'll match our tablecloth.
Who cares about just a little capital murder charge between friends? It's
It's not funny, but
It is.
it's a little. Okay, so
it's pretty wild.
he was the lead suspect, or not suspect,
I like how you're going into this.
the lead witness.
I thought you were trying to get out of it.
No.
It happens. You can't make it not happen.
It's sad. It really is, though. It's terrible, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's really implicated in it at all,
Right.
but just to have your name circulating around with a capital murder charge when you're in the NBA draft, that's a bummer.
Totally.
Which is
That was the first thing they talked about. You remember,
Yeah.
like there was 15 minutes before the draft started.
we
and
turn it on.
They say Wemby's all good, and then like
Yeah.
now we pivot to Brandon Miller, capital murder charge. They didn't even talk about his like on the court, which for good reason.
Yeah.
If that's a part of the thing,
Right.
So
Which is why, kids, it matters who you hang out with.
very true. Many kids watching this that have found YouTube and found our channel, don't do
Pick
it.
your friends wisely.
Yeah.
It matters even more than you might think.
Victor's going on set.
Capital murder
And we're
charge.
still waiting for Dallas.
Or one of your dumbass friends will put you on IG Live when you don't know it. You'll be waving your gun.
And then
You're
you'll have
like,
to say, "Oh, it's a lighter, not a gun."
Is that what he said?
That's what he tried to say for a while, yeah. But it was always guns.
No update from Woj here.
Yeah, not a whole lot of trades happening so far. Like no trades other than just like swaps.
Mediocre little
Yeah.
swaps, yeah. Well, this draft is considered a strong draft.
Yeah,
so people didn't want
wanna
to just
keep their
trade
players.
the picks for nothing.
No news.
No news.
Rip City Reddit isn't popping off. And Scoot Henderson on the Blazers.
It's a big. Even
It's
though it's what I
exciting.
predicted, I'm a little surprised. Just a little
It's
surprised.
exciting if we hold on to him and he's the cornerstone of the future for the Blazers. I think it's about as good of a cornerstone as you could ask for.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential there when we have him and Shaden. Kind of regardless of what happens with Dame, there's a lot of potential there.
You can figure out a
Get
way to
one
get a big
winger
guy.
big.
Yeah.
Seriously, but at least if you're building around a backcourt from now on, and it's not Dame and it's Scoot and Sharp, you got guys with size. You don't have two undersized guards. You're not building around a 2-6-3 guards. You're building around super athletic, can compete on defense guards. If you do have to trade Dame, we've talked about potential Dame trade packages. They're not great. They're
That's
not
the problem.
They're
That's one
not
of the big problems.
You would want to go to probably either Miami, Brooklyn. I bet you Philadelphia could sneak its way in there. Hey, Maxey, another guard. I really think we need to be looking at Brooklyn if we have to trade Dame and, try and get Claxton, because then you look at the lineup. You got Scoot, Sharp, Claxton.
All young,
You
all
just need a
athletic.
forward. You just need to hit on one forward. And your
See ya,
lineup's-
bye, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy will be gone. If Jeremy is about to walk, and if we do rebuild, we need to try and sign and trade somehow. I don't know what that would look like, but we need to try and get value if we can. I don't know if it's as easy as that, but maybe a team like Dallas.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Can't
could get
just let it
right
open
here.
up.
We're tanking. We're trading Cam or Jeremy Grant for Cam Whitmore. If we know we're going to rebuild, and we're going to sign it. I mean, you wouldn't know this now. This would happen during free agency, so this wouldn't come up as the play now. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Who was the? Okay, so OKC traded for Dallas.
Yes. But yeah, if Whitmore's still there, going to the Raptors, I would.
Yeah, this pick has been in for like a long time.
How interested would you be in Grady Dick?
Not-
Legitimately coming on the Blazers? No.
They don't
Shooting,
need that.
Just more.
floor spacer.
I mean,
He is
I
pretty
wouldn't
tall.
if he falls to
6'8".
23, yeah, you run up and take him. He's actually more athletic than what the classic tab of the white guy gets. But Derek Lively, man, he
God,
is
Cam.
falling.
Wow,
I
Cam.
knew they needed a big,
Yeah.
lob threat for Luka.
7-1, according to Tankathon.
One of the mock drafts that I was looking at had him at 23 as a possibility for the Blazers. So he really moved up, at least from
There's
that
another
mock.
center on the list. I always forget his name. It's like Najee. Okay, help me find him. Scroll down. See Najee. Okay, yeah.
James Nnaji.
So he's like 7 foot 250 and with a long wingspan. I think if the Blazers keep the pick, you might look out for him there.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of bigs.
Not a lot of centers. Clowney might be there too. If we keep the pick, I'm just interested to see what happens with that 23rd pick. If they're going to announce a trade right now or not, but I do think it's going to go to Chicago if we're trying to build around
Makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. That is a lob threat for Luka. They desperately need some size with
Dame. Play finisher.
their two guard.
He'll come in and start over Dwight Powell. They've been starting Dwight Powell for like 5 years at the center. Like
Do they still have
McGee.
Christian Wood in the trade?
No, but I think they're going to let him go. He's kind of a offensive guy who doesn't really play defense. I mean, I didn't know how to really say it any other way.
Offensive.
Number 1 recruit.
Wow.
2022.
Oof, get that out of here.
So he doesn't have really any kind of a floor game. He's kind of the classic shot blocking, dunking center.
Like Duran.
But they said that
he,
like in the workouts, his jumper, he was hitting a lot of jumpers. But you know that might not translate always.
It's not a great looking jumper.
No, but he's hitting them.
He is hitting him.
Maybe he'll turn into Nurkic later in his career. And by that I mean always.
Flip shots. Oh, yeah. Raptors need guard depth. If we're going full rebuild and Dame is pissed, just rip the Band-Aid off now. Send Ant out and get Whitmore.
I guess that's kind of one of the big questions, though, is how's Dame feeling right now?
Yeah,
Do
they
you
better be
think-
in contact
Do you
with
think that was like the first call that Joe made after picking
Probably.
Scoot?
Well, maybe
Before.
looking at trades.
Yeah.
I can't
Will
remember.
is correcting himself for
Yeah.
number 12,
Yeah,
obviously.
I know. I saw that. I don't know. Yeah, the Raptors might just take Whitmore just because they might trade OG or Pascal Siakam. But man, they're like the team that needs forwards the least. They have 3 forwards right now, barring any trades, that they don't need.
Bro, Miami is pissing me off with their whole like freaking vulture mentality. They're just like waiting. Like, we're not gonna give you Dame for Tyler Hero.
Kirby,
Quit being
it could happen, and it's going to make everybody mad, but it could happen.
If we give up Dame for that kind of package,
What it's
How do
it's
you
the
do
star.
that?
It's the NBA. Like the
It's-
stars decide where they want to go somehow.
it's almost turning into more like the NFL than the NBA, because you used to be able to get at least a haul of picks for a star player, but now it's more turning into more like an NFL quarterback trade where you trade Aaron Rodgers for like 2 future second-round picks or whatever. It's like,
I mean, Miami has picks. They have, I think, 4. You probably get like 4 first from them, and maybe
they're
pick
not going to
swaps.
be good picks. We've talked about
I know.
this.
Miami's the team you least want to bet on losing. They haven't drafted in the top 10 for 15 years.
Scoot
So-
doing the whatever this dance is called.
Shout out Kirk Royce. I completely agree. Now that we have Scoot, we have to trade Ant and the 23rd pick for some size. That's what we've been saying.
Who's-
I've known this for months.
Who are we
now.
thinking though? Who's available? Who's going? Who's the size?
Who is size to you? Like,
Claxton.
yeah,
DeMar DeRozan.
is that size?
He's
Who is it?
6'6",
Who is it?
He's bigger
He's
than
played
that.
the 3 in the last
Yeah,
3 years.
I'm thinking
God, but then you
a
have
5.
Dame,
for
Scoot, Shaden, and DeRozan. You need
Who
like
is
a,
it?
You need like a center or a power forward.
Who's trading their wings
or a center.
besides the Raptors? And the
A
Raptors,
center is what I
Wendell?
want.
Wendell, yeah, but the
Or
Magic just went 2 guards. I don't know if they.
or the big dude for the Pacers, something like that.
Jarrett Allen.
Turner.
That's someone that
That's
Chris
an
mentioned.
interesting. So there was a rumor that came out before the draft. I was going to talk to you guys about this, but there were so many other important things. There's a rumor that the Cavaliers really liked Nasir Little and pick 23. They're not going to give up Jared Allen for that kind of a deal. That would be an amazing get and an upgrade from Nurkic.
But they might
every
give
way.
up their other big guy.
Mobley. No, they're not giving up Mobley even more. So
Yeah, and they don't really have much of a use for Ant.
they got
So,
Donovan
yeah.
and Sexton.
Sexland.
Yeah.
No, it's not Sex. It's
You're right,
Darius
that was-
Garland. That's why I kept thinking.
Yeah.
I always got them mixed up. So, yeah, I don't know.
A target that I thought about a while back to try to pair with Dame that I thought of was like someone who might actually be available that I would be somewhat interested in is Markkanen. I kind of like Markkanen. He's big at least. He's not
for
much
like
of a
for a
rebound
Dame trade or trading to help Dame.
to help Dame. Yeah, at least he's big. At least he's a pretty
Where are
good
they going?
scorer. Hey!
That's why he's wearing a red suit.
Our boy. Wow, that's like a Michael Jackson.
I told you he was wearing a wild suit. And it's Grady Dick. Wow, New Orleans is gonna get Cam Whitmore.
Do you think Cam Whitmore is like crying yet at this point that he's fallen this far?
Who was the quarterback that sat through like a whole day without getting
Aaron
covered?
Rodgers was one of them.
Really? No, this year, the dude for Will Levis or something.
Dang, I cannot believe. So New Orleans is gonna get what some people consider the fourth best player at pick 14. Maybe they pass on him. Did he have a video of him like smoking out of a bong or something right before the draft or what?
Circulated
implicated
that
in
on
a
the group
capital
chats.
murder.
This is crazy.
Ah.
Like he
More
has
capital
playmaking
murder.
issues, but I don't know. I think the Pacers kind of whiff.
Kirk Royce put together a trade of 23 Ant, Little, and Knox for Allen.
If
I
that
do it.
if that
Take
goes
all our
through,
crap for Jared Allen.
if that goes through, Kirk, we're gonna credit you
Yeah.
because I would love that. That would be amazing.
That would be
You're
great.
the new Blazers general manager.
Yes, maybe this is Joe. If you're Joe Cronin on here, I like it, Joe. If you're getting our input, but Kirk, I think that's a great idea if it works.
Yeah.
I think the problem is just that they don't need Ant.
No, they don't need it.
Yeah,
But maybe it's a 3-team trade.
maybe a 3-team trade.
Because they like Nasir in the 23rd pick. There was a report about that, so it's possible.
What about all that crap for like?
It's not all crap.
What about all that for like Ayton? Because the Suns desperately need.
Aiton's still lurking out there.
They
Yeah.
need depth, and so if the Blazers
Yeah.
could give them some depth for him,
I
I'm
people
not
don't
in
like-
love with Ayton, but I would take him. I think
Okay,
a
so
change of scenery could do.
if it's a rebuild, go get Ayton. Then you can get Scoot, Sharp, and Ayton. Ayton's 24.
yeah, he's not someone I'm super excited about, but
I would be.
I almost feel like I'd be more interested in him in a win now scenario, like trying to
Either
pair
way.
with
That's
Dame.
kind of how I feel too.
I wouldn't be super excited about trying to make him like the franchise of the future during the rebuild.
He'd be the third best player, just like he was on a title contending team.
But I think that could still be true, even like on a
It could.
Dame,
You're right.
Shaden,
Zion and Ayton.
Jeremy.
Go get Zion and Ayton.
Jeremy and Ayton could be.
That would be
good
sick.
front
That would
court.
be sweet if we could like swing for Zion and get another big guy.
For all intents and purposes, Ayton's value is low
right.
now. So maybe you could, but I think the Pelicans got to be excited.
Is Cat still lurking out there? You think, or are they gonna hold on to him? It kind of seems like they just want to run it back.
I don't think they want to.
Yeah, I saw some rumors floating around yesterday. There was just Twitter was on fire with people. Some people who knew stuff, some people who were pretending they knew stuff. But I saw several tweets that said things along the lines of tomorrow will be Cat's last day in a Timberwolves jersey.
We should actually monitor this Pelicans pick, just in case the
I was
Blazers.
planning on it.
Well, no, the Blazers could be talking to the Pelicans right now. What if part of it is
We'll give you Thibault for everything.
no, so Zion comes through and we get the 14th pick as the asset, and we get Cam Whitmore and Zion.
Well, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Woj is coming on.
Woj busting our
Wait, what is he?
Zion bubble. Team needs a traditional point guard. They got Grand Theft Alvarado.
Grand Theft Alvarado and CJ, 3J.
Yeah, they're like CJ's not working at the point. It's crazy how we thought CJ would do so well if he got the point guard position. He's been horrible. He's been so bad in the point guard position. Just turnover.
I
prone.
could have saw that.
Yeah, it's weird. You look at him and it's like, what is your position then? I don't really know what
You can't play with a point guard and you can't play point
He
guard.
should be
I
the
love-
sixth man, the combo guard off the
Yeah,
bench.
yeah, that like a Jamal Crawford type of guy.
A Ginobili light, a smaller Ginobili. That's
Yeah.
his position.
You're probably right. But yeah, he has been pretty disappointing in the point guard role, I think. I love CJ, but every time I watch him since he's gone to New Orleans, it's just bad turnover after bad turnover, crucial times, throwing the ball right to the other team.
Wow. So yeah, Woj basically shut down all the Zion chatter instantly. So if that option's gone, I'm leaning more towards
Kirk, I
Scoot.
feel you. I too would vomit if we traded Scoot Henderson.
True.
Especially unless it's for like a top 10 player, an MVP candidate. We're
Kirk,
trading him for Bridges. I'm out.
Yes.
I'm checking out.
Kirk, I feel
Siakam.
ya. I
I'm
feel
leaving
ya.
the chat.
Yeah, no, that's not. And it doesn't look like that's happening. Looks
No.
like Joe understands that that's not going to happen. The only reason I was on board for Zion, and I know it turns a lot of people off, is just that upside.
MVP candidate.
He's an MVP candidate, and Scoot could be that kind of same player. So you don't trade that for Bridges. You don't trade that for Siakam. Zion is the only guy that I really wanted to trade that guy for. So I get where you're feeling, Kirk.
Yeah,
Scoot,
I can't really think of any other player that's like realistically available.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for an Ayton or anything
No.
like that.
not for
God,
Cat.
imagine-
Not for Cat.
Imagine how much the
No,
rest of the
not
league
for
would
Cat.
hate the Blazers if they traded Scoot to the Suns for 8.
Beal, Booker,
Oh
Scoot,
my god.
Durant. Oh, whew. Luckily, the front office seems to value Scoot.
Yeah,
I think they did.
They're smart.
And so they have Mike Schmitz. We've talked about it before.
Colton brings him up every time.
Colton's a big Mike Schmitz. So
He was the
He's a big Schmidt.
he was the
guy.
draft
big
guru.
Schmidt head.
He was the okay. Who did the Pelicans pick? Oh,
We know.
what a weird,
We know, Adam.
what a weird trade.
Yeah, the 10 and Bertrand.
They put Bertans.
Well,
They put wait. They put Bertans and it was like 22 million remaining. That's like what they put as the flavor text.
oh my God. Just take Verdun.
We'll
drop
two
down
spots.
picks.
Just
Cam Whitmore's still available.
Pelicans take a guard, Jordan
We'll
Hawkins.
go down as many picks as you need us to go and get rid of Verdun.
Like what a crazy move. He was the guy in the Porzingis trade.
That's what when we first heard it, I said like, did he just say 10 and Bertans for 12? You're like, it must be the other way
It's got to
around.
be the other way around, right? No.
Oh, Kirk Roy's coming in with Mike Schmitz is fire.
Oh man, this is your guy, Colton.
it should be everybody's guy.
He's a Schmidt head too.
Yeah, I got a couple.
You guys got to do your Schmidt research because the guy was the draft guru and we hired him for a reason. So
Wow, still no Whitmore. That's crazy.
this is shocking to me. Again, I'll say the Blazers need to do what they can to go up and get him.
Yeah, that
He
could
would
a
be the
steal.
perfect guy at the wing, slot in day one.
It'd be
Just
like
like
a Miller Light.
Miller Lite.
That's his nickname.
Oh, it's Miller time.
So I mean, at this point, we're not even asking to move up that many picks. We're just trying to go from like 23 to 15.
the,
What's that going to take?
the sad thing is, I think the Hawks. Well, I keep saying that the teams are
Yeah.
going to take him.
Yeah.
The Hawks probably will.
Probably, unless
They have Murray, Trae Young, Capella. I think it's a done.
The Hunter is their small forward, right?
And they did draft AJ Griffin last year. We better not end up on the Miami Heat. And if so, well then, if it's Dame trade and it's Cam Whitmore that's sitting there, maybe that wouldn't hurt as bad. But
Trade Dame for Cam
Yeah.
Whitmore and Tyler Hero. I think I'd
no.
talk about vomiting over a trade. That would be the one for me.
They just compared this guard Jordan Hawkins to Ray Allen. That's kind of a crazy comparison.
It's a stretch.
It's better than comparing him to Kuminga.
Kirk likes Whitmore too. I think Whitmore should not
Be on the board.
be on the board. It was originally going to be like a 4, 5, 6, something like that.
you said, what happened? He must have.
I'm telling you, it's
worked out
got to
bad
be
or
his
something.
basketball IQ. His playmaking is historically bad. So the rest of his skills are there, but I'm thinking that's what it was. I don't know.
Well, with Dame and Scoot, maybe he doesn't need to play make.
That's what I'm saying. Go get him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're going to get him. You know, you're not trading with Atlanta. Utah, maybe.
This random person on Twitter who I can't verify at all said, "My understanding is there's palpable trepidation surrounding his medicals that contributed to this slide." Shout out at Jeremy Wu. I don't know who.
Wait, can you read the tweet again? Because it was a very well worded tweet. What is it? Palpable trepidation. That's my new word
About
combo.
his medicals.
Yeah, the medicals. Is
Yeah, that's a hell
Hey,
of a
the dude
tweet.
has 20,000 followers. ESPN contributor covering.
I mean, I believe it. There has to be a reason why.
Is that Mr.
Considerable.
Wu? That looks like
Trepidation.
that's the greatest profile picture of all time. That's interesting. I wonder what's wrong with him.
I mean, if he has degenerative knees, don't draft him. But other than that, if it's something you can work around.
Why have you ever had a Blazer player that had degenerative knees? I can't think of
No
it.
comment.
Can anybody think of a Blazers player with
It's okay, guys. Yeah, I heard of this new thing. It's called microfracture surgery.
Just that phrase.
They just break your knee.
Yeah, and then it grows back stronger. It's amazing.
Breaking news: Greg Oden has undergone his third microfracture.
They don't do that at all.
No, because it didn't work. They did it for like 5 years exclusively to Blazers bigs and Brandon Roy. Completely
You're right.
gutted
You
our
don't-
team.
You don't really hear that. You're right.
No, I've actually done a little research on this. The guy who was like the head Blazer doctor at the time was like a pioneer of it. It was like his invention.
and he's been thrown in jail.
And
He
it
moved
was,
to Panama.
so he like decided we're gonna do this on every Blazers player because it's gonna be amazing. And you know, it ended like 6 careers, and then he's out of the medical profession entirely. at this
Well,
point.
that
Wow, I didn't know all that. That's good information.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think he was the head Blazers doctor, but he was like
the consultant.
he was a consultant that they trusted, and
It
it
was
was
the head microfracture.
I mean,
consultant.
to
it
be
was
fair,
a
his
mistake,
To
man.
be fair, his legs are different lengths. That didn't help matters.
Odin?
For Odin, yeah.
But it was a bunch of guys. There was like 4
Yeah.
or 5 guys who all went through the microfracture thing and ended up not like if you Google microfracture surgery, it's like all Blazers players.
Not Whitmore.
Wow, man. This is
There
gonna-
must be something wrong with
There's
it.
got to be something a pretty big problem.
Is he in the draft room?
I was wondering why they haven't shown him yet. Maybe. And I wonder if he knew he was going to drop a bunch and decided not to come.
Could be. Doug Christie, Spencer Hawes.
Spencer Hawes.
It says Penny Hardaway, Chris Webber, Allen Houston, Ron Harper would never be said.
This is another guy from Michigan. Juwan Howard was Blazers legend. Juwan Howard was giving him some love.
Well, guys, I definitely think as far as our draft coverage goes, you think we should sit for the 23rd pick?
At this
And call
point,
it, yeah,
I think we're pretty
close
close.
enough.
We're
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah, let's stick around until the 23rd. See what happens.
What does everybody think of the draft so far? Kirk?
Atlanta 23, or give Atlanta 23.
Yeah.
Reddish for Whitmore.
I
That would be a
like
nice
it.
upgrade.
I like it, Kirk. I like it. I like the way
Yeah,
you're
unless,
thinking.
unless there's something really wrong with them, which it seems like a lot of teams believe that there is.
There comes a point where the risk is worth the reward, unless, like I said, it's like a degenerative issue. Like maybe it is that bad. I guess it is because he was projected that
It's-
high.
It's funny. There's a
crazy.
headline from 2 days ago saying that why Cam Whitmore slipping in NBA draft projection leaks of a smoke screen. Which was
No,
just
not a smoke
not-
screen.
Not quite.
Fans being like, "Don't overthink this, Hawks. Take Cam Whitmore." Somebody was like, "Fine, I will draft Cam Whitmore."
Kirk's telling us that we're the only positive Blazers stream going on right now. So I don't
Let's
know.
go Blazers!
Thank you,
that's,
Kirk.
we're gonna keep it positive. You
That's
know,
what we
I
got to
mean,
do on here.
We'll critique when things seem wrong, but at this point, I mean,
How can you not be excited about Scoot?
Yeah,
how can you not be excited about
the
just
dude might be
having
the
a
best
third
player in
pick?
this draft. Honestly,
He'd be a number 1 pick in about 5 different drafts.
Yeah.
When you tank, you're trying to get a guy like that as a building block. And yes, the Dame uncertainty is there, but
the last
be
2
happy.
tanks actually worked beautifully. Scoot and Shaden.
it sucks when you're in it. It sucks to tank, but you get results like that. Come on.
Yeah, they did a hell of a job rebuilding on the fly. You know, it's like about a 2-year rebuild. They were able to keep their 33-year-old superstar, and they got 2 dudes who could be the cornerstone. They were both 19 or whatever.
We'll see if they keep him. I
Yeah.
still think he's
Just don't trade him for Mikal Bridges. Then this will get very negative.
This will
very
turn
quick.
into a negative stream if we trade Scoot for just about anybody.
there's a couple of players I'd trade him for, but yeah, for real. It's the smaller list than what we would hope that we would be talking about, you know, like oof.
How would you feel about at this point, now that you've had a little time to think about it, like Scoot for Ingram, maybe with like a piece?
I still think people underrate Ingram.
Yeah.
I think that he would fit really well here. He would give Dame that wing threat that he is desperately needed his whole career. He's still like 26, could grow still with Shaden. I mean,
Who did the Pelicans take? It was a point guard, or it was a guard, wasn't
It
it?
was a guard.
yeah,
Was it
Jordan Hawkins. Maybe?
Was it Jet Howard?
Might have been Jet
It might have been Jet.
Howard.
It was one of those where we were surprised that they didn't take Cam, but we've been surprised about that for an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd make that deal. I know.
God, Grady really made sure that he was
Toronto,
seen.
he was ready. I don't know if I'd take that deal. To answer your question, it would depend on the extra piece. If it was Brandon Ingram and like Herb Jones,
That's what Kirk just said in the chat.
did you? Kirk,
You guys are
You guys are both
yeah.
Schmidt heads. for sure.
Kirk knows. Kirk knows ball. So I would probably do that. As much as I love Scoot.
Oh, they took. Wait. They Jordan Hawkins.
So, yes, that would be tough because you're losing Scoot. But man, the Blazers lineup would look so good. You know, you'd have a top point of attack defender in Herb Jones. You'd have Thibault as the off-ball guy who could play the passing lanes. You know, you would have a wing with size. You'd have 2 wings with size. I'm not sure about Nurkic in terms of staying healthy and being consistent, but at least you'd have a wing, a star wing.
I mean, I think you'd want to try to move Nurkic and maybe Ant and
For a center.
For a center.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I know that we here on this podcast have been a little low on Ant for good reason, but I think he still has value to some teams
He should.
because he is
just-
just very talented.
Yeah,
player
it's
with
not
a
that
lot
we're
of
that low
upside.
on him.
He
It just
doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's been literally our first podcast that we
Yeah.
ever did was like, can Dame and Simon fit together?
And we guessed no, and we were
Not
looking
really.
like we're right.
The Jazz pick is in. Who's the best available white player left in the water draft? You guys know? Best available white talent.
that is the way the Jazz are likely to go.
I think.
That's him.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
he might
he's
be-
I don't know. Now we're getting into yeah. We don't need to go down that.
Yeah, it's gonna be him. That's clearly a Jazz player.
There's
Well,
some Jazz vibes on Jamie.
We'll see.
Jamie Jackie.
We'll see what happens. But the Lakers are sitting next to. You got some interesting teams in this range of picks.
Boo, Lakers.
A lot of those popular markets with the Lakers.
Kirk's low on Nurk. Same here, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's time to move on from Nurk.
That's been a theme on this podcast, and I'm the
He
guy
doesn't
who,
play the games that
I
matter.
know I'm the guy who likes to try to keep the band together as much as possible, and even I know it's time to move on from Nurk. It's
Never been healthy
I
in a
know.
playoff series win. I'll just keep saying that for everybody who says he's fine. 6 years,
That
no playoff series wins.
That one dude commented, he's like, never been there when it matters. Never really. That's disrespectful,
Yeah.
bro. I'm like, listen to what we said. This is like pretty obvious what the criteria we're laying out here.
Like, never been a part of a winning playoff series in his career. What more can
That's
you
when
ask?
it
What more can you
matters.
say?
That's when it matters
It's not-
most.
It's not all his fault. You know, the roster needed some better construction here and there, but
He did snap his leg into
yeah,
it one time.
that's my point. And another time he was coming back from injury against the Warriors. And in the bubble, he was also coming back from the original leg snap. So it's like what
Leg snap one.
that's my point.
The
Like,
original.
that's what it is.
It would be interesting if like a Leonard Miller type of
Leonard Miller, yeah.
Player
He's a
is-
wing.
yeah.
He played in the G League.
6'10" and a half is what this says.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought he was going to go in the late lottery, honestly. I think a lot of the guards are going a lot sooner than I
Yeah.
thought. And for a team like the Blazers,
That's a good
that's
thing.
a good thing.
The more forwards that are left when we get to 23, the better.
I hope one of these guys you got to imagine is going to be available, Murray or Miller or
I saw a
Clowney.
picture with Clowney in a Blazers jersey when he was a kid. I think it was a Terry Porter jersey. I don't know as much about Clowney as far as like the on the court production, but you know, looking at his numbers,
let's see, I think
gives
those
you
might
what
be
you
per
want.
36.
And he's a freshman.
There's his per game averages, almost 10 points, almost 8 rebounds, about a block,
It's what you want. Interior presence. The Blazers don't have that really.
like 28% from 3, 48 from field,
Do you think
65. From the
Okay,
field.
where do we got
Save
for
the
Utah?
Jazz take? Deontay George.
Yeah, I'm still sliding, man. This is turning into like a Bol situation where Bol was projected to go like in the lottery and he went to the second round. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Something must be seriously wrong.
Kirk's excited about Clowney or Leonard Miller, which I mean, it's becoming possible. We're only like what 5 picks away, and we've got like 3.
You're cracking me up, Kirk. You're cracking me up.
You know, we're 5 picks away, and we've got 3 potential decent wings in that.
But is the pick gone in a trade? That's again.
Yeah,
I think we're 6 picks away. Actually, we're pick 23. So there's still enough time for the Lakers to piss us off, the Heat to do a Heat thing, and we'll see what happens. The Warriors. What position do you think the Warriors will go? They still have their championship core. Draymond's probably in it.
They need a big guy, don't they?
Looney's really good, but yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of bigs out there.
Yeah, they just don't have any depth as far as size goes.
They have Kuminga and Moody as kind of their young wings.
But I mean, this guy's projection is.
all their projections are Kuminga.
Yeah,
Yeah, they might be in a position where they just take best available. Who they think.
they're gonna end up with Whitmore. Then they're gonna have a nice little rebuilding player going on.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna take him. It's probably not gonna fall all the way to the Blazers. We're gonna go, oh, when it happens.
I don't know though if he's got that much of a
Yeah.
injury issue. Maybe Blazers don't even want him.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we can get a forward, that could be decent. I mean, if that happens, I'll be happy.
Let's see.
There's like, the top 5 players on the board are all forwards, at least the top 4. So
Regardless of what happens with this pick, though, I feel like the Blazers did their job today. They didn't make any stupid blunders. They
took
got
the best player available.
got the best player available, potentially the guy with the highest upside in the whole draft. I mean, that might be a little bit. I don't know. I like him. I think he could be.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what's going to happen with Wembanyama. I mean, he obviously could be a GOAT type player. You know, he has that sort of
Lakers.
potential, but he could also have issues. And then if he does have issues, then I think Scoot has a real chance to be the player with the highest upside in this draft.
It said, Woj updated that said Utah had some conversations on trading number 9 and number 16, but appear to be standing pat.
Which is what we just witnessed.
Lakers need ball handler and 3-point shooting. So they might be in line for another guard as well.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly sound like a forward.
Jacquizz Jr. He's kind of a ball handler.
And he's from UCLA.
Yeah,
They could get the local guy.
he was like their best player on that team that had a pretty good run.
At this point, every guard that gets picked, I'm considering a personal victory because that means there's more forwards
Yeah.
in the pool at 23. And again, maybe it's gone. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm assuming we're going to pick for ourselves, and
For now.
we need a forward.
For now, I don't see a way Simons can remain on the roster if Scoot does.
No,
We've talked about it a
no,
little bit
Simons
earlier,
has
but
got to go. Yeah.
there's no way. It's just a matter of too many guys, not enough minutes. Shaden has clearly taken, the reins from Simons. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would be. We released a poll a few days ago. Did you look at the results of that one?
I hadn't seen the results.
It went pretty well.
It did
There's
well.
a lot of folks voting on that. Let me check the official results of it up to this point. 49 people voted. 43%. So should Shaden Sharp be an automatic starter next season? 41% said automatic starter. 16% said he should come off the bench, and 43% said it depends on the roster configuration. So, but yeah, to me, for about the last half of the season and into this off season, I feel like he has to start next season. Otherwise, you're just wasting. You're kind of pussyfooting around with it. You're wasting his potential, what he could turn into. Why wait on it? I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think taking him off the bench in favor of someone else is gonna win us a championship or anything. Or
Hear me out.
make a run. So
What about this? On the off chance that we somehow trade for Zion and this is all negotiations and Pelicans are open to it. Let's say you add Zion and like a Herb Jones, and that's a tough ask. Pelicans fans, that's way too steep for them. I get it. But, Zion's injury history, there's got to be some
We gotta
negation.
get something.
So you have the lineup, right? So you got Dame, Grant, Zion, and whoever the center is. If it's Nurk, it's Nurk. You could have Shaden as your sixth man off the bench and have that lockdown defender next to Dame. Zion isn't the greatest defender. Dame is not a good defender. Jeremy comes and goes. He's good sometimes. So if you come in and you bring Thibault in as the starter, I know he's not the best point of attack defender. This is all a what if, right? So unless there's a perfect scenario like this where it's even a question that you can maybe contend, bring Shaden starting. I'm agreeing with you unless there's a small caveat. If we're ready to go with the rest of the lineup, then maybe bring
if we have a team, if we have a starting five that's like a potential championship starting
Yes.
five, and Shaden could be the sixth man on that team,
Yes.
I could potentially see
I
it.
just don't think that's really possible.
You're right. You're right. So then in that's the case, start Shaden no matter what.
Yeah. That's where I'm at pretty much. It's unless there's a freaking miracle that happens and the Blazers are contenders next year, it just doesn't make any sense to continue to, like I said, pussyfoot around with them anymore. Just go all in on the dude. I think he needs more than 6-man minutes. I think he should be getting 35 minutes a game.
Yeah. I agree.
Kirk thinks at least 25 a game.
Yeah, so I'm saying no, he needs 35.
35 a game. Getting those Dame numbers.
Now we're seeing the LeBron highlight reel for the Lakers.
Why not?
What is even happening? Why are we getting
ESPN's like, it's been too long.
LeBron
too long since
forced down our throats?
Since we've shown LeBron.
We haven't shown LeBron highlights in
All
7 days. It's going to be nothing but LeBron highlights anytime the Lakers are on the clock.
Wow, Shams doesn't know who the Lakers are.
Because it's a trade in the works.
Oh yeah, he did. Sham spoiled it. Spoil it. Spoil it. Spoil it.
Getting closer. We're getting closer to the Blazers pick. A couple away, 5 away.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
You got a guard.
Hood Shafino.
A new player for me to not
Yeah, I know.
like.
My new least favorite player in the NBA.
Yeah, he's got real Kuzma energy.
He's gonna be their replacement for Reeves. Because Reeves is gonna be getting $70 million from somebody. This
more. He'll probably get $100 million.
Wow.
I mean, he played really good. They closed the year, and he's a wing. He's the Gordon Hayward, right?
I thought I heard that they were going to try pretty hard to hold on to him.
But I think the most they can get, I think what I saw is the most that they could offer him is 70, and he's expecting more from other teams.
I think they can match it.
In the match?
I think they can. I think they have his rights.
Yeah, because
Yeah, they might have to go over to
The Cavs.
the South, and then I think they want to get Kyrie too. So
Right.
they're gonna have to make some decisions.
The Lakers get what they want. Remember what I said to you guys? People will bend over backwards to give the Lakers good players for trash. I don't know what it is.
Here's the thing that's great, though,
It
is
happens
that
every time.
the last few years, especially since Le GM came over, what the Lakers want and what the rest of the league gives them has been not necessarily what's best for them. Like, they really wanted and got Russell Westbrook, and that was not a championship move. Now he really wants Kyrie Irving. Good luck.
Yeah, that sounds.
Go ahead. Give them
I kinda
Kyrie.
want that to happen to watch
Yeah.
that implode.
Yeah, send Kyrie to the Lakers. I don't care. Like, that's not going to be a win for them. So that's all right.
Yeah, they haven't exactly got what they've wanted either. They're
Vanderbilt was good for them. I'd
Yeah,
argue.
Vanderbilt's good.
out of the friggin' Hachimura.
Yeah, and I remember when
Oh,
you were
God.
like, second round picks aren't good for anything, and I was like, Rui is pretty good, but I mean, unless you're trading with the Wizards.
But
who's giving away-
wasn't I criticizing the Wizards for
Taking only
Hachimura for
second-round
second round picks?
You said you couldn't get good players for second round picks.
Jokic 41.
And I said, yeah, you can with the Rui.
No, I hear ya.
But I was pissed at the Wizards for giving him up for nothing.
The Wizards are the masters of the self fleece, and that's why I think that the guy that they, when they made their trade today to draft, what's his name, Riley?
Like
Belil.
Colaby or something.
I don't know about that.
Kolabali.
It's just that was a Wizards move.
Belil Koulibaly. I like saying it. I just can't remember it.
You're like, oh god.
You know how long it took me to get Victor's name? I mean, it's still like a 4 out of 10.
It's gonna be like Giannis soon.
Yeah, I know the early,
Everybody's
the
like
early
Giannis.
days when people were like, Anta,
Antita,
Antita,
Anti Tutuku.
Oh, okay. We're gonna keep going. You should
Colton's getting crabby. It's getting past his dinner time right now.
No, it's not. I'm just ready for the Blazers pick.
Yeah, no, this, I think we may have done something similar last time where it was like we waited for the second pick and it starts to get pretty slow around 20.
Yeah, it's like, I could care less who the Lakers are selecting with the 17th pick.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys don't want to wait till the second round, pick 43?
Pick 41 is going to be the next MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like after 15 they should shorten the time of like 2 or 3 minutes between picks.
Give them 3.
I
That's-
don't need 5 minutes between the 17th and 18th pick. Come on.
True.
I mean, I guess I kind of get it
They need to
because
pick.
it's for these teams, most of them, it's their only pick they get for the first round. So it still is a big deal for
Oh,
them.
what's Woj?
Is that Cam?
Not good interviews and not good work.
Wait, how do you mess up the interview?
Is he
part?
saying injury?
The Heat are going to take him.
Yeah, are the Heat going to take someone that had bad interviews?
And he wasn't undrafted.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna take him, and it's gonna be such a steal, man. And the fact that it's this close to the Blazers, I just want him to move up.
I know.
I wish I
Yeah.
could be a fly on the wall for that interview.
Yeah, it
Just
must
be
be.
like, oh, jeez, dude, that's a bad answer.
How bad were these answers? I mean, when you're talking about dropping from 4 to 20, you're talking about losing, probably tens of millions of dollars immediately. In
He just walked out of that
endorsements.
interview. I really flubbed that one.
He's like, I'll get the next one. He didn't get the next one.
Just went down the line to 15
Okay,
different
but-
teams.
Talk about something that's gonna wake him up, probably, right?
Yeah.
It should. If he's a real good competitor, this is gonna make him mad.
Yeah, I hope so.
Could you imagine if he somehow fell to 23 and the Blazers came out of here with Scoop and him?
And they passed on it.
man. Yeah, and they passed on him, exactly.
It is interesting that Woj didn't really bring up the injury issue. He just brought up poor
Johnny
workouts.
Wu or whoever that guy was.
I guess maybe
That was
poor
his-
workouts could partly be like a health issue, if he's, I don't know. But those are some bad interviews, man. Lose yourself tens of millions of dollars in half an hour or whatever.
All right, the pick is in. Let's get to it, guys. Your 5 minutes is up.
He said heat culture. He said the phrase.
JJ is going to be a coach.
The undrafted squad.
I'm kind of surprised JJ isn't a coach yet.
He's busy feuding with Perkins.
Over racist MVP.
Yeah, voting.
Dang, they are drawing it out after they.
I know. That's the thing. It's like, okay, fine, take your 5 minutes. But what is it over there?
Yeah, that's a boy. I don't even know if it'll reach.
There's your Jaime guy.
Jr.
There's your Jaime.
That's a Heat guy right there.
I like his look.
I can see that guy on South Beach.
I like his look.
It's not gonna make it.
It's not gonna make it. No, it's not gonna make it. Yes, it is.
There you go, friend.
Thanks.
All right. We are now, 4 picks away?
So I mean, there's still a bunch of forwards left, right?
All the guards are. I mean, he's a forward.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still several left that we've talked about.
And that guy looks like Kylo Ren. If you're not really looking.
I hope that's his name.
I want every gun we have to fire on that man.
When he said that.
Look at him.
Man, that guy kind of looks like Kylo Ren if you're not really looking at
Let the pest die.
it.
Kill it if you have to.
We're at this point in the draft where
We're talking about what Star Wars characters.
Oh, the
is,
next guy's gonna be Jar Jar.
Kirk thinks Houston's gonna get Whitmore.
Yeah, you could be right, Kirk. And man, they just keep adding top prospect after top prospect. I mean, they do have Eason, but yeah, if they take another wing, they're really cruising.
Yeah.
The problem with the Rockets might be, even at this point, if all of their prospects hit, they're kind of like all rookie or second year guys. They can't pay all those guys at the same time unless they perfectly slot into that. I mean, they can trade them and get stars or whatever.
Plus, Udoka's got a friend some cheaper thing.
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah. I know, and it's going to be interesting to see how much better they are with Udoka. Like, how bad
And
was
Silas
holding them back? Or
Did you ever see that interview of Silas after Dane had 71 against them?
Yeah.
It was quite the interview to watch.
Yeah,
That was a great one.
He was just like so frustrated. You could tell. He was like almost crying in the interview. It's pretty crazy to watch. I kind of felt for him. I was like, damn.
Well, he had no veterans other than
Yeah.
he had all young guys, and
Yeah, he was saying that sort of. He's like, most of these guys have never seen anything like this. Like he was like, we tried to do this and we tried to do that, but these are second and third year guys. They don't know how to handle this kind of thing. Like he was getting frustrated with the reporters' questions and stuff. They're like, "Why wasn't the effort there?" He's like, "There was effort. There was effort. It just we couldn't figure out how to stop it."
Dang. Well, we got the Warriors still sitting there, contemplating what did they
Warriors, Rockets, Nets, and then the Blazers.
What does
Nets.
what do you think Golden State's thinking right now? Do you think they're thinking about what they need, or are they
Best
thinking about
available, I think.
assets to,
I think they're trying to find a guy that they can maybe hit on that can provide them some depth.
They did just lose Poole. Are they going to try and pick up a guard to kind of fill in as the like third guard kind of guy off the bench?
Isn't that
They
Chris Paul?
got Chris Paul, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with Chris Paul as
That's
the backup guard. There's not a lot of minutes left for
True.
guards or ball handlers in general.
Yeah, they need bigs. I
They'll
think.
probably take a wing then.
Yeah,
They'll probably end up with Leonard Miller, I bet,
that'd probably be a pretty good
Or,
pick for them.
Cam.
or Cam, or Chris Murray, any of the wings that are sitting there.
Just with the issues that have been described about Cam, like it seems like Golden State's kind of a culture first team too. They might not.
We just keep trying to rationalize dropping. Like,
Well, it keeps working.
what did he say in the interviews? It's so shocking. Like,
He's like, I hate playing basketball. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. He just says that in every city.
It's like the My Player in NBA 2K where you just pick the cocky answer every time. I don't care. I go out and get my numbers, and that's all I care about.
Just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh, breaking news!
No, that's the Chris Paul. Oh, so that 2030 first round was a top 20 protected? Yikes.
Yeah, that's
20,
so great.
30? Oh my
Top
goodness.
20, 20.
Did you see that the Suns don't have? I saw a post that was like they're not in control of any of their draft picks, and it might have been first round draft picks
No,
until
any of them.
2031.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
any of them because
man.
they traded
There's-
seven or
They
7
have picks.
seconds. worth
They
of
do
them.
have picks because there's pick swaps, but still they're like not in control of any of them.
They traded like 6 seconds for Beal because I mean they didn't give up much else.
Yeah.
I can get you 6 more rubies if you want. You know,
Was there 3 more, right?
Yeah.
2 seconds.
it's
Colton,
the
come
same thing. They're all the same.
They're the cryptocurrency.
Because second round draft picks aren't worth anything unless you assign value to them.
And assigned value showed this, a couple times that you can get players with them. It just
If you're the
depends.
Lakers,
Yeah.
if the Wizards are dumb enough to send,
Or if you get Bradley Beal for them.
Oh, second round picks have a ton of value if
to
you're
the
trading
Wizards.
with the Wizards.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Golden State does.
does.
The newest Warrior is
The newest hateable player. Wow, I cannot believe this guy is sliding.
21.
So, okay, they said he was maybe going to slide to around the top 10.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were saying. Late lottery pick.
Bad was his
It must have been a really bad
If he has
interview.
no injury issues, this is absurd. I cannot remember a guy that was mocked this high without injury issues.
It's
That
just
falls
it's
this far.
interesting when that's what comes out is that he had bad workouts and bad interviews. It's like, I mean, sure.
So the Blazers are guaranteed to have an option of either Murray, Leonard, or Whitmore at this point. Wait, no.
No, it's
No.
4 picks
Yeah.
away. Clowney's there though. Clowney, Murray, Leonard, Whitmore. Those are all players of need. I mean, it really depends on who you want, but man, a lot of the guards have gone. And look, they went, Warriors went guard. I don't know, man. There's some players there that the Blazers can take. Like, when you start scrolling down a little bit,
Whitehead's there. Nick
James
Smith
the
Jr.
Najee's there too, kind of hanging out down there.
Oh yeah, we could go the big route too. I've been kind of thinking about wing, but
This guy's the
Bryce
fourth.
Sensabaugh.
I think he's the 4th ranked small forward in the class.
He's a little bit undersized.
Over Leonard Miller actually.
Yeah, ESPN has him. I think the second best prospect left. Unless that was just positional. No, yeah, see.
Oh yeah, yeah. Number 2 right after Cam.
Thanks. So the Blazers really, if they don't find a single trade that they like, could just draft a wing.
That guy looks like a warrior.
Yeah, he
does
looks
look
just
like
like
a
Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
And the Rockets.
Oh, he's gonna fit in real well with that Steve Kerr system.
Shooting threes. Ball movement, player movement.
Yeah, he's gonna be
three-point
coming off
shots.
screens, coming off of those Draymond Green
Well, he
forward blocker screens.
the moving, the Great Wall of China that moves. Just shifts ahead. You know what I mean? Like when he sets a screen, he
That's a
like
great way
he like
for it.
walks forward the whole time. Come on, you guys know. You guys have seen it.
That's why I called him he's like a lead blocker.
Draymond Green when he sets a screen, just a wall that moves the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
That's
not
how they
disagreeing
won
with you.
4 championships.
Yeah, I can't believe some of the stuff he gets away with. I'm like on this podcast probably the person who hates the Warriors the least. I actually kind of like the Warriors, and I don't mind Draymond either. But I can't believe some of the screens that he's gotten away with over the years. I mean, it's just straight up blocking.
Do you think if Draymond went to a different team, he would get called for the same type of game? He could just play his games on different teams.
Possibly because no,
It
I mean
depends on his teammates, I think.
that's what I'm thinking. I think that he would probably get called for it more because the guys wouldn't know how to play off of it so well. Because I think that
They
a lot of
do a good job of making it look smooth.
yep, it looks so smooth. They come around it just right
And they hit the shots.
and then hit the shot.
The ref's like, I guess he's going to hit that regardless.
Kirk's wondering how the hell the Warriors are going to draft another PG.
It's a good question. I don't know. I guess they must have just went for best player available, who they thought was the best player.
Yeah,
Tankathon has him at a shooting guard, but I mean, still 6'4" shooting guard.
yeah, maybe more of a backup for Clay, if anything. But, yeah, I mean, they lost Jordan Poole, so
That's what I mentioned, but you guys were right. I didn't think they were going to go this route, but
Yeah.
unless they thought he
Yeah,
was the
to
best
me,
player.
it seems like they're undersized. That was their problem in the playoffs. Maybe they have another method of trying to get some more size.
When
another
Looney-
forward or another.
You're right. When Looney goes to the bench, they
Yeah,
really
they
struggle.
look small.
And I think maybe they're just triggered still from James Wiseman, how bad that pick was.
Can't take another big.
Yeah, maybe they'll figure out a way in the offseason to get someone there because it's not like they need that much, but just another big body to go out there and set some screens and get some rebounds and just kind of do the Looney role, doing the hard work and stuff. Because you're right, because like once he's out, it's like Draymond is in center and becomes
Draymond
way
plays center,
smaller.
but as he loses athleticism, he's not going to be able to do that as well.
And when you're matched up against teams that have size, like the Lakers, he was just getting completely owned by Anthony Davis for a lot of that series.
To be fair, everybody gets owned when Anthony Davis is healthy, but yeah.
When he's healthy, that's the
It's the
always
same thing with
caveat
Zion, though.
with Anthony
Okay,
Davis.
so that's a good point. That's the same thing with Zion.
Oh,
Anthony
yeah.
Davis was always if he's healthy before he made it to the Lakers, and they won a ring doing it. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's
Another
Zion.
Pelican forward that we can fleece from them that'll actually start trying when they leave New Orleans.
Yeah, we can all hope.
okay, so Rockets pick is in, and then we got some Brooklyn back-to-backs, and then we got the Blazers.
Come on, Brooklyn, make it quick. Just give us
Yeah.
both picks at the same
I
time.
know.
We don't need 10 minutes of
If they
Brooklyn on
keep
the
both
clock.
rookies, one of the rookies should make fun of the other rookie that they got drafted before the other one. Like, I was 21st, you were
It's a long
22nd.
time to sit.
I know, yeah.
We need to be pacing, especially for a freaking cramp back there. Broken people's legs the whole time.
Me not.
Nice.
Where's the Scoot commercials
Nice
at?
Oregon commercial.
I know. Where's the other Scoot commercials?
Scoot.
So what do you think? There's a little conversation going on in the comments about Dame and Scoot and like the idea of Dame playing with Scoot as kind of a mentor role. or whether taking Scoot is basically like a middle finger to Dame, as an organization. I mean, you know what I think. We talked about this a little bit already today, but I love the idea of them playing together. I'd really like to see it. And Kirk kind of brings up the idea that Dame playing with another guard that can maybe drive a little bit more could extend his career if Dame can become a little bit more of a catch and shoot guy rather than someone who has to have the ball in his hands all the time. Because I would love to see Damian Lillard fall on the ground a little bit less, because those hard drives that he makes, if he could do that a few times a game, in like important moments and score, that's great. But it would be awesome if someone else could drive occasionally too. So I agree with that.
Oh, there he goes.
So Houston gets basically the two best athletes in the draft. That's crazy.
Wow. I guess his interview wasn't bad enough with Houston.
Well, they already got.
He's like, he just kept saying, "I love strip clubs" to every.
Yeah.
They got two of the best top 5 prospects.
I'd love to live in a city with no zoning ordinances.
My response to that about Scoot is just that it's not so much about the offense; it's about the defense. Is where the problems are going to be. I think offensively they could work, but defensively, I think Scoot's going to have to prove that he can guard guys that are 4, 5, 6 inches taller than him. And if he can do that, that's going to be amazing. And then it could potentially work. But
to be fair, Dame will get to mentor him if Dame does stay. That'll help leaps and bounds. But there was a stat that they talked about. I think it was close to 90% of Scoot's jumpers were off the dribble. If one of them is going to play off ball, it'd have to be Dame.
I think he can do that.
Yeah, he could.
We've all watched him in shooting practice. Those are spot up shots where someone's throwing him the ball. He's like one of the best spot up shooters.
It didn't work with Simons, but that could be more of a judgment on Simons.
Yeah, he's so turnover prone.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And he's like notoriously bad on defense too. He's like specifically not good on defense, and his decision making is questionable. If he's just focusing on shooting every time, then he's pretty good at that. I mean, he can put up some points in a hurry, but he's like trying to create for other people and trying to run the offense. It gets pretty messy.
Oh, now we can listen to the sad story of Cam sliding.
What a terrible interview.
Yeah, but I hate basketball and anyone who plays basketball.
Look at his face.
It would be rough, man.
You're right.
You're
right.
Microphone a fist from your face, man. The Joe Rogan thing.
Well, this better fuel him then. The Rockets clearly.
Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him now at this point.
The Rockets just had the best draft, best first round you could almost possibly have, as long as there's no injury issues. So the Rockets fans got to be super happy. I mean, they got to think about every position now. They have a player at every position that's like a top 3 projected prospect almost. Not quite, but like
Şengün,
Thompson,
Smith.
Yeah, Şengün, Smith, Jalen Green,
Thompson.
Whitmore, and Eason. Like, they have 6. That's a lot of young guys for contracts, and I wonder if they're going to go big name star hunting with.
Trade them all for James Harden.
Is Eason on the block? Is Whitmore on the block? Is Jalen Green on the block? Just saying that they can't all get paid when the contracts are up.
They have a few years to figure out which ones they want to keep.
True.
Yeah, we'll see how it develops, I'm sure. We're still got some forwards available for the Blazers.
Yeah. So, would you guys prefer to go size like Clowney, who's like 6'10", or Leonard Miller here, or who are we thinking? Chris
One
Murray.
of those guys.
Leonard Miller's 6'10" too, and scores 20 points a game. That's that.
For 36 minutes.
Okay, well, but
don't
still,
look
that's-
at these stats.
But I mean,
They're
that's
not
that's
exactly.
that's a good size for what we need.
Yeah, he averaged 17 and 10 a game in the G League.
Look up his go back to him really quick and look at the actual scouting report from him. So his defensive rating is not good.
Free throw attempts, not really their fouls. But very
The
good
rest of it's
rebound.
not
Very
bad.
good rebounder. His
Yeah.
top 3 skills are rebounding.
Which is nice if we do decide to try to keep Jeremy, because even though he should be able to, the man cannot rebound. So we need to bring in someone.
I
to
wonder
pair
if
with
he would
him
be.
who
I wonder
can
if he'd
rebound.
be like a comp to Walker.
Jabari or
Yeah.
Jarris?
Jabari.
Jabari.
Kind of rebounding is definitely his skill. Probably in that same kind of size.
He's gonna come in probably a better player than Jabari, which I know we like Jabari, but this guy's played in the G League, averaging 17 and 10 against grown men, and he's what 19? Yeah, 19. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he ends up. But I was intrigued. I thought he was gonna go higher, honestly.
If the Blazers decided to go for what they thought was the best talent on the board, they went with a guard. How would you feel? Would you be frustrated, or would you guys be okay?
I
with
wouldn't
it?
be frustrated because there would have to be a trade.
There'd be a trade involved. Yeah, I'd be okay with them taking the best talent on the board. Although at this point, it kind of feels like the best talent on the board probably will be a wing.
Potentially. There's a few guards in there that are pretty close up in that area. Whitehead, Nick Smith. Wasn't Nick Smith like a top 10 a few months ago?
Maybe.
I think he was like projected like maybe even like top 5.
No, not that high.
I think he was pretty high not that long ago.
I don't think top 5. He might be right with top 10. Oh, that was a nice move on the highlight reel.
It's interesting how fast things can change for guys, in the draft. I mean, we just saw it happen, with the drop for Cam from 4 to 20.
Yeah, there's a lot of professional judges out there making
It's just
checking all the boxes to see if you got what it takes to be a pro.
it's crazy because it's just crazy to me that it was that far of a drop. Even with that interview, most people would take a swing with the talent. So, like, he was projected to be maybe the 4th player picked,
Exactly.
and he went
yeah.
from that same team to same.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I remember when we were talking about who the Blazers were going to take at 3, like right after we got the 3rd pick, it was probably going to be Miller or Scoot, but we were talking about one of the Thompson twins or Whitmore as like guys who were right up there in that top.
Walker.
Yeah, and Jarris. Yeah, I remember we were talking about Jarris a little bit when we were still slotted at number 7. Like that was
They're
kind
gonna
of
pick
our-
Clowney and then Miller.
possible.
There it is. Part one of my hypothesis is correct.
All right, well, Clowney's off the board.
It's gonna
so
be Miller next.
now we're hoping for Miller.
And we're gonna be left with Whitehead or Smith.
I'm not sure about Chris Murray. I have a weird feeling that's what we're going to end up doing if we keep the pick. He's a good prospect, but I'd kind of rather go probably Leonard Miller, honestly, if he's on the board. And the Nets might take him.
Right.
To take both of my 2 kind of guys that I was looking at.
Just to spite you.
Oh, he's a bit older, isn't he? He's almost 23.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be-
3rd best power forward in the class. Average 20 points, 8 rebounds,
Looks like maybe not so good
a
on
block and
defense.
steal.
But yeah, it'll be interesting
Oh,
to see.
Nets did the pick is in back to back, so we won't have to wait long.
Yeah, right. Bobby Marks is going to take as much time as he can.
They're about to go to a nice long commercial.
Yeah,
break.
Taco Bell commercial over the Blazers pick.
Yeah. Just a whole 6-minute Gatorade short film. It's coming.
That was the Joker. There was a Taco Bell commercial he played when he got
Yeah,
picked.
when they drafted Jokic. It was a Taco Bell commercial.
Should we do some yoga stretches here before?
Yeah, you never know. You don't want to get.
Because then if something crazy happens, we're like,
The Blazers have traded Anthony Simons and the 23rd
and Damian Lillard
and Damian for
or Tyler Hero. Yeah.
And protected Miami Heat picks.
Protected 2031 Miami Heat pick.
top 25.
Protected top 25. So we're never gonna get that pick. Are we?
There's all these there's our picks that are like top 20 protected.
Top
Like,
29
come on.
protected.
That was what that Wizard one
I
was.
know. Yeah. What's that even worth?
All right.
Come on, give us the pick.
Oh no, it wasn't pick is in, pick is in. They're gonna
Oh,
deliberate.
that was the last one. I guess.
Oh, come on, Nets.
What are you talking about right now?
We were like, okay, we're gonna take this guy, and then who should we take next?
Did you not have a plan?
Probably have It's Always Sunny to watch, don't we? Yeah. Just thought of that.
All right.
Watching any good shows?
I haven't been watching shows lately, man. I've been.
Did you like? I don't think I ever asked you about this. Did you like Guardians 3?
I haven't seen it.
You never saw it?
Stop.
You've
I
been
don't
so
want to
bu-
see any reactions.
You've been
from
so
you.
busy, I guess.
Well, it's hard to go
Your
when you have a
daughter.
5-month-old.
Yeah.
We're kind of in waiting to stream mode.
I get it. That's
I haven't
crazy,
been
though.
spoiled on it yet, so I don't even want to see you guys' reactions or hear it. at all.
Well,
Sensabaugh
You're right.
is
Bobby
the
Marks.
is number one.
yeah, he loves the sound of his own voice.
So Sensabaugh is still available.
Yeah.
Sensabaugh.
Well, let's look at
Sensabaugh.
his strengths and weaknesses, shall we?
Yeah, he's supposedly like the fourth best.
Ohio State. Again, he's a little small. That's always
listed as better than Leonard Miller, though, and I mean both of those guys are
on
still
that.
there.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, if we could get one of those two guys, at least
Very
that's
good
something.
scorer. It looks like that's his best strength.
Lots of
And
points
3
at
points.
Ohio State
So it looks like he's a good 3-point shooter.
at 6'6". It's not terrible.
I wonder if that's in shoes or not.
That's always the question. Like, oh, what are we talking about Mikal Bridges for? Is that just
They're
his
just
comparison?
the Nets.
Oh, the Nets.
He
okay.
said they said he. Or,
You're like, no,
No,
JJ
no.
Redick.
Mikal Bridges off
Scoot
the
Henderson
screen.
and Damian Lillard.
For
Not
Mikal.
for Mikal Bridges.
for Bridges and Class.
For Joe Harris.
For Joe Harris, yeah. That's a Blazers trade.
Dinwiddie and Joe Harris. We're rebuilding around Dinwiddie.
I do
That's
like
our plan.
I do like Cam Johnson, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes
Yeah,
because he's a free agent.
yeah. Maybe he's the kind of guy who they could get in San Antonio.
San Antonio could definitely take him. That would be a good player to add. I don't know how old he is. I think he's younger still. I think he's mid-20s.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see what San Antonio can do because there's not like an incredible free agent class this year, but there's some guys, and if they've historically been pretty smart. So if they can find
Yeah.
and obviously Victor's going to be a big draw. Guys are going to want to come play somewhere that it's going to have a packed audience every night, and
It will be interesting to see what route they go if they just kind of stick with the classic rebuild or if they try, like Colton said, if they try to get like a subpar, mediocre team and kind of miss out on maybe another young superstar in the future. I mean, not that the next year's draft class is supposed to be that amazing, but they might be able to get themselves into a Kuminga potentially next year.
No, what they're going to do is sign Jeremy Grant in free agency, and they'll steal another Blazers power forward.
And we'll be like, okay, that's fine.
I'll be a lot less heartbroken over that one.
not bad.
No, if Jeremy wants to go to San Antonio,
All right, the pick is
Godspeed.
in. Sensabaugh is the bet is Jay Billis is best available.
I was just in San Antonio.
Second.
Jeremy can have it.
You're not a San Antonio guy. What about the Riverwalk?
You would have thought,
It's a dirty creek. As Charles Barkley would say.
dude,
Wow.
that city is falling apart. Miller.
Oh,
Lo-
there's gonna
love-
be some
love to
mad.
San
There's gonna
Antonio.
be some mad San Antonio.
But I've never been anywhere like that.
Giving us wink
It,
faces.
it was insane. I was not expecting that at all.
Portland is not at the prime of its city.
And
life.
compared to San Antonio, it was like Portland 15 years ago.
Okay.
It's not what I expected, but I
The things
I
you
swear-
learn.
Yeah, yeah.
There was somebody
You
else
have
that
to
I was,
actually go there.
there was somebody that I was talking to that was talking about San Antonio, and I mentioned that you didn't like it, and they're like, "I see where he's coming from."
Yeah, yeah. I thought I was gonna love it.
Oh wow.
All right, we got our choice.
Yeah, we got a choice of a couple
Some
different.
forwards on the board, but
Yeah.
what happens? Do we keep the pick? Do we trade the pick? We are at the money time.
If they traded it, it'll pretty much be announced right now, because otherwise they have to keep it for like a month. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see.
I mean, I think they at least
think
got
it-
through the rest.
Should
of
I
the
should I go have Sham spoil it for me?
No,
No, just react to it live.
keep away.
I'm just looking at Woods.
Which is like the Blazers are keying in on a Damian Lillard trade.
The last tweet he said is the Houston Rockets are strongly considering ending Cam Whitmore's slide at number 20. Decision. It's a funny way of phrasing
He
it.
doesn't exactly. It was like a couple years ago. Well, when Anthony Simons was being drafted, he had to keep saying different names. So he was like, the Blazers are lasering in on Anthony Simons. Oh, we got a commercial break. Taco Bell commercial.
Of course.
They
Now
showed
just
the
a Wembanyama video package that we can watch again.
no, it's not just, but yeah. Where's the scoop? Sizzle reel.
Yeah, I'm excited about Scoot.
Me too. At the end of it all, we added a top 3 pick that
Yeah.
in most cases would be a number 1 draft pick.
And we didn't blunder it. Like that's what I was afraid of, is that we were going to get this number 3 pick and then end up with Cam Whitmore or Jarris.
That would have been so funny if the Blazers took Whitmore. The rest of this league's like, okay.
I guess they did.
His interview must have been really good. yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, Kirk.
I agree that I think we're probably going to take Leonard Miller or
Kirk?
Murray.
Would you rather have Leonard Miller or Murray, though? Is my question to you, because I think I'm higher on Leonard Miller than Murray myself.
Yeah, I know. I don't know a whole lot about him, but just based on the size and the
Their
stats, yeah, he wants a Murray.
Yeah,
The Kings.
Miller's like
Yeah.
3 years younger.
Yeah,
He's Murray's brother though. Well, he came in as a 23-year-old. He was ready to cook.
He was, but I don't know.
What's his
I'm
name?
just
I'm blanking
not-
on his first name.
I don't think he's as he put up solid numbers. I just am not sure. Obviously, he's slid this far. I don't think he's as put together as Keegan going in. And if he's not that high of a ceiling of a player either. I tend to lean towards higher ceiling players. I know that I kind of straight. I said I wanted Miller over Amen Thompson because Amen Thompson has a high ceiling, but at
The
this
other
point in the
Miller.
draft, take a shot.
the other Miller.
The other Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if
Miller time.
Leonard's better than?
He's the best Miller in this draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing we said last
We're
year with
gonna-
Jabari Walker and Jabari
Who
Smith.
who would have known that we would have come out of this draft with Miller and Scoot?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, that'd be a win. We
I
got our
still-
Miller.
I still think it's funny. Brandon Miller's suit. It
Was-
was plaid,
was-
red and
it
black
was,
suit.
It was this.
Yeah,
It matched.
kind of feel like he maybe thought he was going somewhere else,
Yeah, I
or
kind
maybe
of,
he's just a big Bama guy.
or just a big troll, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Messing with all of us, messing with Michael Jordan too.
Well, his
He beat
go.
him in
He
golf.
said his go was Paul George, and now we can officially make fun of it.
Yeah, no,
trying to
I was
discredit
making
it.
fun of that all day. I didn't
Playoff
need, even if he came onto our team, I wasn't gonna let that one go. I screenshot that news, and my first thought was, okay, yeah, we can.
That's a
we can
bad
just
take.
move
The story
on.
will be told. That's a bad take.
We can just move on from Miller because if his goat's Paul George, I'm all
Pick
set.
is in.
I will laugh if we pick a guard. Even if I won't like be mad, I will laugh. Let's just be real.
Pick is in for the Blazers. 23rd pick. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, the pick is in, not on the clock. Come on, let us know.
They're bringing out the secondary commissioner at this point.
Lewis Blazer is. Chris Murray.
Okay.
What I just said I didn't want. I
They-
should have known.
They got Keegan's they wanted Keegan's brother, I guess.
6'9". That's cool.
There we go.
Nice under.
First round for the Blazers is
Let's watch the under the rim package highlights.
wow, he does look like his brother. Ooh, that's not as nice of a looking.
It's a lefty.
She's like, what the?
Are they twins? They might be twins.
3-and-D.
You know what they say when they say it's a fundamental prospect, unless it's Tim Duncan? Not a high ceiling. That's for sure. Wow, nice.
Nice wide
breakaway dunk.
Well, he wasn't the worst player picked.
Kirk says safe pick. Harrison Barnes comment.
I mean, Harrison Barnes helped out.
You're right, Kirk. It's a safe pick, and at pick 23, I'm fine with taking a higher upside pick. That's why I'm a little just sighing at it. It's not like I hate it, but so far it looks like we're keeping the pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
no trades.
Unless it was a trade.
No trades for the Blazers yet.
He's definitely gotten better year to year.
0, 9,
0
is
to
better
10
than
to
0.
20.
Big difference. That's a pretty poor freshman year.
He probably didn't play much. That's what's gonna happen on the Blazers.
Yeah.
They're gonna come in an average 0.6 points a game.
They gotta be twins, right?
I think they are.
I mean, they're both they're both the same age, so. They're not the same.
No.
Jay, the old guy.
Good one.
What an old guy joke.
Bring back Bowie Parks.
Well, I'm gonna look up a little, see if there's any kind of a trade brewing,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound like it.
then we could call it a day.
I'm gonna say this. Oh, the Kings are trading Rashawn Holmes at number 24 to Dallas. Wow, what did Dallas give up? Not a lot of Blazer fans are gonna be happy
Did you look at Shams?
because we did not trade and get Dane help as of right now. It might happen later, but a lot of Blazer fans are expecting some either big swings or big trades here. So interesting to know.
I think it was a win tonight. Like Riley said, they didn't blunder the whole thing. I like Scoot. I wanted Scoot. It's gonna be hard to figure out what's gonna happen with him and Dave and Shaden, but they did. Really, at the end of the day, they did all they could. They
Let's
picked
just-
the guy that they had to pick.
Let's just say this. It could be the move that pushes Dame out. It could.
It could.
Let's just be honest.
It could also be the move that finally gets him help, either by drafting the help or by trading for the help.
Could be right.
Either way, thanks Brandon and Roy for bumping us up to number 3. Because what were we slated at?
We
Like
could have been.
7?
And guess who was
Sure,
at number
Swan.
7? No. Well, no.
Who ended up at 7?
Your boy.
Oh, Bilal. Bilal.
We got Scoot Henderson,
Koulibaly?
and we could have had Bilal Koulibaly.
Koulibaly. Yeah, I almost got it. Koulibaly.
So that's a big difference. That's a big. I'm glad we landed at 3.
Is that who was number?
I think 7 with Indiana. It was a trade, but I think that's.
I
where
thought
you
that
got
was
it.
8. Oh, no, you're right. 7. Yeah, we could have ended up with Wembanyama's teammate. All right, I guess we're
the
looking at
Mavericks
the King.
made the trade. Yeah. What did the Mavericks trade?
Is it going to be anything shocking?
It's not anything shocking.
I just think that was someone I had my eye on as if Miller had fallen out as not an option, he could have been an option too. But
More high
Well-
upside than Murray.
Let's go Scoot. Let's go Blazers. Some nothing really that interesting happened tonight, I guess.
I think it was interesting
It was-
that Brandon Miller got picked.
Yeah,
it was interesting
that
that
was
Miller
interesting.
went
That was
second,
shocking.
but
we
no
got
big
sued.
trades, basically.
No
Yeah.
big trades.
But maybe they're coming soon.
We'll be
Thanks.
back to talk about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking around and watching live.
We'll analyze the second round pick as well. Coming up.
Good to chat with y'all.
Bye. Bye.